sports broadcast. It's time for Peninsula Oilers baseball on ESPN 1140 AM and 96.9 FM. The 2026 Peninsula Oilers pregame show is brought to you by Sweeney's Clothing, including a look around the league featuring scores and standings and starting lineups and pitching matchups as we go around the horn. Sponsored by Genward Towing and Recovery. Oilers baseball on ESPN also brought to you by State Farm agent Christy Babcock, Beeman's Variety, Gentle Dental, Central Peninsula Hospital, and Ashman Krause Real Estate. The three-time national champion Peninsula Oilers game broadcasts on ESPN, also brought to you by Steam on Wheels, Dan's Automotive, Kenai Peninsula College, White Spruce Trailer Sales, Dam Construction and Roofing, and Ridgeway Dentistry. The 2026 Oilers baseball season on ESPN 1140 AM and 96.9 FM. Also sponsored by Peninsula Surgery and Aesthetics, Earhart, Elsner and Cooley Attorneys at Law, Eyewear Express, Jumpin' Junction, and Soldotna Professional Pharmacy. Oilers baseball is also brought to you on ESPN by AK Express, Martha's Cocina, Odyssey Family Practice, AK Tree Solutions, and Playa Azul. The Peninsula Oilers postgame show is sponsored by Peninsula Community Health Services with game recaps and on-field interviews. Now let's go live to today's Oilers game with the ESPN broadcast team.
And welcome back here on ESPN. This is Oilers baseball, and this is the Sweeney's pregame show on KSLD. Dylan Simmons with you tonight, looking forward to a great night of action here at Mulcahy Stadium as your Peninsula Oilers look to take back a victory against the Anchorage Glacier Pilots after suffering a loss in this very ballpark last night to the Anchorage Bucks. If you joined us for last night's broadcast, the Oilers fell to the Bucks after a late game collapse in the 8th inning. Bucks would go on to win 8-4, Oilers dropping to 6-4 on the season. And for the first time this year, the Oilers are not atop the ABL standings, currently listed at 3rd behind the Chugiak Eagle River Chinooks and the Matsu Miners. We'll get more into that later. However, they have had a lot of success against the Glacier Pilots this season. They've played them 5 times, all at home in the first week of the season, and won 4 of those 5 games. So, the thought is that maybe tonight the Oilers can get their groove back with a win over a team that, for the most part, they've been able to have a lot of success against so far. However, that much is still yet to be determined. We'll find that out throughout the course of the night. We're going to take a quick timeout. When we come back, we'll go around the Alaska Baseball League and check out the latest conference standings. All that and more coming up right here on the Sweeney's pregame show.
The warehouse is open at Sweeney's Clothing in Soldotna. Come discover amazing deals with savings from 30 to 70% off on flannels, jeans, footwear, jackets, and a wide variety of summer essentials. Plus, they've got lots of new merchandise you didn't see last year. Whether you're heading to work, hitting the trails, or getting the family ready for summer, now's the time to stock up and save. Don't miss the warehouse sale at Sweeney's Clothing in Soldotna. Your workwear and outerwear headquarters for the whole family.
Let's talk about something that's not always top of mind, but still really important, life insurance. Because it offers financial protection for your loved ones and can help them pay for things like a mortgage, credit card debt, and even your children's education. Plus, life insurance is probably a lot more affordable than you think. And with State Farm, your local agent can help you understand your options and choose coverage that fits your needs and budget.
Hi, this is Christy Babcock, your local State Farm agent, still in Kenai, and now also at the Soldotna Y.
Your health matters every day, not just when you're sick. At Peninsula Community Health Services, we're here to keep you well with personalized primary care and preventative services for the whole family. From checkups and screenings to managing ongoing conditions, our caring team is ready to help you stay ahead of your health. Don't wait. Take the first step toward feeling your best today. Call PCHS at 907-262-3119 or
Coach's Corner next.
Around the ABL.
Health Services. Healthcare for all.
The Sweeney's Clothing pregame show continues as we go around the horn with today's starting lineups. Brought to you by Genoir Towing and Recovery on ESPN.
Welcome back here on the Sweeney's pregame show. Dylan Simmons with you live from Mulcahy Stadium, and we'll go ahead and take a look at the Genoir Towing and Recovery starting lineups. They are brought to you again by Genoir Towing and Recovery. If you need a tow or help recovering a vehicle or heavy equipment, call Genoir Towing and Recovery at 907-394-6068. For your Peninsula Oilers tonight, taking a look at the starting lineup, leading off tonight will be Shane Kennan, the shortstop. Brooks Hassenclaver is in the number 2 hole again. He's in right field. Luke Lusky keeps his spot at first base. Isaac Fernandez has been slotted in as the catcher tonight. Owen Musil is the DH. Sammy Lopez is at second base. Wyatt Bundy is in left field. Jack Kolobowski came in as a pinch hitter last night. He's at third base tonight. And Garrison Jones will be in center field today as the 9-hole hitter, with the pitcher for the Oilers being Cole Dixon, who we've seen have some pretty good appearances so far this season. We'll get more into him later. Meanwhile, for the Anchorage Glacier Pilots, Vaughn Coleman will be leading off. He is the center fielder, just recently committed to a new school. Again, we'll get more into that later. It will be Zach Kiefner making his debut against the Oilers tonight. He is the second baseman. Antonio Gianni is in right field. It will be Johnson at first base. It will be Braden Horn as the catcher. Jake Dahl is in left field. Nick Cortinas is the DH. Ryan Dotson is at third base. And Blaze Sizz is the shortstop with Cody White on the bump. And by the way, Johnson is Drew Johnson. It kind of faded away from my memory there for a second for the Glacier Pilots. That's your starting lineup for both sides, presented by Genoir Towing and Recovery. We're going to take another quick timeout. When we come back, we will have Coach's Corner. Got a chance to talk to Kadem Tharp, the pitching coach of the Oilers. We'll hear from him and what the Oilers need to do tonight to pick up a win. All that and more on the other side of this break on ESPN.
Upstairs at Beeman's, talking with Steve. Looking for tank supplies? Look no further than Beeman's.
Matt, we have a great inventory of lids and jars. Not so great on canners right now, but we stock jars from 4 ounces to half a gallon, so we got a great selection.
Do you want 90 seconds?
60 will be fine. Let's go 60.
Okay.
Appreciate it.
In giftware, we have a great selection of baby gifts, so check us out.
Beeman's Variety on the Kenai Spur Highway in Soldotna.
Gentle Dental in Soldotna proudly welcomes Dr. Perkins to the practice. He brings a remarkable background from studying in France to earning a degree in microbiology and a DMD, graduating near the top nationality. With over 5,000 hours in implant dentistry and decades in anesthesiology, he delivers advanced, comfortable care. Dr. Perkins has been recognized among America's top dentists and enjoys serving Alaska communities. Gentle Dental continues providing trusted modern care. Call 907-262-8834 for your next appointment. And now let's take a trip down to the field. The pregame show's Coach's Corner on ESPN 1140 and 96.9.
It is time for Coach's Corner here on ESPN. Dylan Simmons with you on the Sweeney's pregame show. Earlier today, got a chance to talk to pitching coach Kadem Tharp of the Peninsula Oilers. He's always a joy to talk to, and he had some pretty impressive advice about how the Oilers can put last night's defeat behind them and take care of business today against the Bucks. That will be coming up in just a second. Here is Coach Kadem Tharp right now. This is Coach's Corner here on ESPN. Dylan Simmons with you for Peninsula Oilers baseball, joined by Kadem Tharp of the Peninsula Oilers coaching staff. How's it going, Coach?
Pretty good. Thanks for having me on.
Well, it's good to have you on. Now, I want to ask about last night. Obviously, that's kind of where we lead into today. Not the result that you guys were looking for against the Bucks, but, you know, you guys have come back from losses before this season. How are you looking to reset for today? 2 minutes left.
Well, I think just getting the first road game out of the way, you know, because we talked about it a lot. Some of the coaches have been doing this, being on the road in this league. I mean, it's 9 straight days and games every night. So I think we just kind of got off the van right flat. So that was kind of the goal we talked about after the game and coming into today. And luckily we played them a few times. And this is a good group, so they tend to make adjustments if you look at our schedule.
I'll bring you back after this.
Tanks that we are now stocking. We've got tank sizes from 1,000 gallons, 1,250, 1,500 gallons, What sets them apart from the competition is that they have up to a 10-foot bury depth. Sometimes you need a tank that can withstand more than 4 feet, and these are where these poly tanks really shine. We do have tanks in stock. As a customer, you can come by and pick them up, a contractor as well. Please give us a call. It's Team on Wheels, 907-262-3240.
All right, back here on the Sweeney's pregame show. Apologize for the coach's corner malfunction. We didn't have the interview set up properly, it appears, but hopefully you at least got some of that from assistant coach Caden Tharp just a moment ago. Pre-game festivities taking place here at the Anchorage Glacier Pilots Ballpark, Mulcahy Stadium. Of course, the Bucks play here as well. While we've got a moment, we're going to take you around the Alaska Baseball League and take a look at some scores and standings. The Anchorage Bucks, of course, taking on the Mat-Su Miners tonight after their win over the Oilers last night. That is at Herman Brothers Field in Palmer. The Oilers will play there tomorrow night. That game currently set to get its first pitch in just a moment. And, of course, your Oilers taking on the Pilots tonight right here at Mulcahy Stadium. Taking a look at the updated Alaska Baseball League standings, it is now Chugiak Eagle River who is solely atop the ABL with an 8-4 record after their win last night over these Pilots at home. Mat-Su is now in the second position at 5-3 and on a 3-game winning streak, looking very solid as of late and a true contender for the ABL title. Oilers now in the third position at 6-4. Anchorage Bucks 5-7 after their win last night over Peninsula, and the Glacier Pilots slot in at 3-9, currently last in the ABL standings. We're going to take one more quick timeout. When we come back, we'll have game action live from Mulcahy as the Glacier Pilots take on your Oilers. All that and more coming up right after this on ESPN.
Thinking about a new place to land here on the Kenai Peninsula? At Ashman Krause Real Estate, we believe real estate should feel clear, calm, and personal from the very first conversation. Whether you're buying your first home, moving across town, or preparing to sell, we guide you through every step with local knowledge and genuine care. Ashman Krause Real Estate at Jack White Real Estate, guiding you home with care.
Yes, Steam on Wheels does install lift stations. Generally, a lift station is required with high groundwater or some type of elevational difference that's going to require a pressurized mound or bed. But they do provide an excellent sewer system when installed correctly. Conventional septics are the preferred way to go. But when you have high groundwater or an elevational difference where you've got to pump it up a hill to do it conventionally, a lift station may be the only way to go. Give us a call at Steam on Wheels, 907-262-3240.
With the latest scores, standings, and news from around the league, let's take a look around the league. Brought to you by SLP Alaska on ESPN 1140 and 96.9 FM.
Welcome back here to Peninsula Oilers Baseball on ESPN. Dylan Simmons with you from Mulcahy Stadium in Anchorage, Alaska. The crossroads of the world is set for a primetime showdown tonight between the Glacier Pilots and your Oilers. First pitch set to take place in just a few moments, and after that it'll be time for the game to get underway between Peninsula and the Glacier Pilots tonight. It'll be Shane Cannon, Brooks Hassenclaver, and Luke Lusky, 1, 2, 3 coming up in the order. And as always, the top of the order for your Peninsula Oilers is brought to you by State Farm agent Christy Babcock. Protect yourself and your assets by putting Christy and her team at the top of your lineup. Oilers trying to avenge for a loss last night against the Bucks. This may be the perfect opportunity to get that done. Shane Cannon will lead off for Peninsula against Cody White, who is making his 5th appearance of the season, already has 4 with 9 innings pitched and 9 strikeouts so far, just 1 earned run given up. Here we go, Oilers versus Glacier Pilots, Chapter 6, for the first time this season from Mulcahy Stadium. We're underway. First pitch is to the outside, and the count will go to 1-0 for Shane Cannon. Peninsula trying to find their way back to the win column. They've lost 2 in a row for the first time this season. 1-0 pitch from White is a little bit high. Count goes to 2-0 on Cannon. Cannon has yet to play the Glacier Pilots this year. Did not appear in the first series of the season against them, as he had not yet flown into Alaska, as this pitch misses high again for ball 3. Cody White struggling a little bit early. That could be good for the Oilers and could be a chance for Cannon to capitalize and get on base. 3-0 pitch, and that's to the outside for ball 4. So how about that? A 4-pitch leadoff walk that will put Shane Cannon at first base. Doesn't take him long sometimes, and the Oilers have a runner aboard. Sun is beaming down here in Anchorage today. A lot more of a contrast to what we saw yesterday, where the weather was somewhat overcast, a little bit dreary, much brighter overall. Maybe that's a good omen for the Oilers. Brooks Hossenclaver at the plate. First pitch at right about 5:59 here at Mulcahy Stadium, so getting things going a little bit earlier today, as this fastball misses high for ball number 1. That's 5 straight balls thrown by Cody White here. That's not a good sign if you're a Pilots fan early, but again, good chance to capitalize for the Oilers. Hossenclaver got 2 homers against the Pilots in the first series of the season, but this time the fastball hits the mark and the count goes to 1-1. For our folks watching on the YouTube stream, do want to warn you, with the sun beaming down, there is a chance we might lose the camera at some points throughout the broadcast. If that happens, we'll try to get it up for you as soon as we can. Here's a throwback to first after the ball issued by White, and it's going to be just missed on the pickoff attempt. Count goes to 2-1. Cannon was able to get back to first pretty quickly. Drew Johnson is over there at first base tonight. First time he's appeared against the Oilers this season. 2-1 pitch. Hossenclaver with a fly ball towards left field, and on the run, the catch is made by Jake Dahl. That will be out number 1. So a fly out to left for Hossenclaver. Got a pretty good charge into that baseball, but just had a little too much hang time, and Dahl able to get underneath it. We'll see a lot more of Jake Dahl tonight. Luke Lusky will come to the plate. Hossenclaver, so good in so many different stats this year already for the Oilers. Top 5 in batting average in the league right now. And a guy who's made a huge impact more often than not in games, as the count goes to 0-1 on Luke Lusky. Lusky played last night for Peninsula. 7 hits total on the year, 4 RBIs. And has reached base once on a hit by pitch. Here's a throwback to first. Cannon gets back in time as well. Count at 0-1. Peninsula statistically with the best offense in the ABL right now. Top batting average in the league. Here's a line shot that got past the third baseman, Ryan Dotson. It went right through his glove, it looked like. Cannon digging around second, looking for third. He dives, and he gets there in time as the ball gets away again from the third baseman. That's going to allow Lusky to get to second base. He's on with a hit, and it looks like Cannon is going to be staying at third after a couple of mishandled balls by the Pilots. A very bizarre sequence there. Lusky, I would imagine, will be awarded with the single and then advance to second on that missed throw. They are going to say an error officially, at least for the moment. We'll see how they score this. It was Ryan Dotson who was in position to have a chance there to make the play at third base, but he was unable to. So Lusky is aboard. Isaac Fernandez is now at the plate, 2 runners in scoring position, and this pitch is delivered for a strike. Count goes to 0-1. It first went past Dotson at third, then the ball came in from left field and was mishandled as they tried to see if they could get Cannon out. That's what led to all the chaos. 0-1 coming up, and this pitch is high and tight. Count evens at 1-1. As expected, there's always a little bit of chaos whenever these two teams meet up. We saw a few different errors last night that were significant for the Bucks as well as the Oilers, and could be a significant impact early here. Here's a check swing, and they're going to say that Fernandez went around. Count goes to 1-1. Still trying to see how they're officially going to score it. They are going to say that Lusky got on with an E5. Not sure if I am totally in agreement, but I can understand why they would score it that way. Count at 1-2 here for Fernandez. Either way, you've got 2 runners in scoring position. That's the most important thing. Fastball is delivered for a called strike 3. Strikeout looking for Cody White, his first K of the game, and that is a crucial second out on the Oilers here. So, much like last night, Peninsula could get 2 runners in scoring position, but they may not be able to capitalize on it, which could be very crucial. Owen Musil may have something to say about that. He is the RBI leader in the Alaska Baseball League with 10 total this season. He's got 2 outs here with 2 runners in scoring position. And a breaking ball delivered for a strike by White. Count goes to 0-1. Oilers in red shirts tonight with red helmets and gray pants. Glacier Pilots blue shirts and white trousers. 0-1 coming up from White. Delivered to Musil, and that's a low pitch in the turf. Count goes to 1-1. Field turf infield here at Mulcahy Stadium if you didn't join us last night for our broadcast. And that does change the direction you would normally expect a ball to fall whenever it takes a hop off this infield turf. Musil again working as the designated hitter, had a couple of big hits last night. 1-1, Chopper left side. Dotson plays it cleanly this time, throws to first, and gets it there for a 5-3 that will end the first frame of the game. Oilers get a couple men on board. No hits, though, in the top half of the first inning. 1 error assessed to the third baseman, Ryan Dotson, but otherwise, the score remains 0-0. Oilers with 2 men left on base and unable to score. We'll be back for the bottom half of the inning in just a moment on ESPN.
Injured, recovering from surgery, had a stroke, brain injury, or trouble swallowing? Central Peninsula Rehabilitation Services is here to help you feel your best again. With expert care in physical therapy, occupational therapy, and speech-language pathology, our team creates a plan tailored just for you. From neurological conditions and sports injuries to joint replacements and everyday aches, we've got you covered. With 4 convenient locations in Kenai and Soldotna, care is always close to home. Learn more at cph.org. Just search rehab.
Dan's Automotive has the best customers in the world. What about Asia? We love Asia. We work on Toyotas, Hondas, Nissans, Hyundais, and Kias.
What about Amsterdam?
Do they even make cars?
Look, no matter what side of the car the steering wheel's on, we got you covered. Dan's Automotive, serving the best customers in Alaska. Call 907-420-0416.
Welcome back here to Anchorage, Alaska. Dylan Simmons with you. Bottom half of the first inning is upon us between your Oilers and Anchorage here on a Wednesday night in the center of the last frontier. Oilers had a couple men on base, including 2 men in scoring position in the top of the first, but were unable to bring across any runs. We'll see if the defense can keep the Pilots at bay. Cole Dixon is on the bump here. And we've seen a lot of good stuff from him this season. Maybe one of the most consistent pitchers that the Oilers have had on the bump so far throughout the year. And he'll need to be consistent again tonight against this Glacier Pilot squad. Vaughn Coleman is at the plate. And he's going to see what he can do against Cole Dixon to lead off this Pilot's order. As this pitch misses wide, count goes to 1-0. Dixon out of Arkansas Tech, Glendale, Arizona. Trying to work fast here, places this pitch to the inside. His brother Luke got the start last night for the Oilers. Managed 4 full innings. Cole has made 2 starts this year, and both times he was pretty darn solid. Here's a high fly ball over into left field, drifting into foul ground, and it's going to land somewhere near that football field, just beyond the left field fence, but in foul territory, so the count will move to 2-1. Dixon had a 4-inning outing against the Pilots in the first game of the season with 4 earned runs given up, and against the Bucks on June 16th, 5 innings with 5 earned runs. So maybe not the cleanest overall, but still put in some pretty solid work as the count goes to 3-1, and sometimes the score doesn't accurately reflect the situation, as here's another ball popped up on the left side. Third baseman Holubowski wants it in foul ground, makes the catch for out 1. So Vaughn Coleman will quickly be retired on that. Several of these Pilots players in the portal coming into this summer collegiate season, and they'll be playing for new schools soon enough. As Zach Kiefner will come to the plate. And I say all that to say that Vaughn Coleman one of those guys that's going to be at a new school. We'll get more into that in just a second as this pitch from Dixon misses. Count goes to 1-0. Here's another pitch to the outside against the lefty batter. Coleman, of course, played for Cal State Northridge just a while ago. Now going to be playing for the University of Oklahoma University, I should say. Don't want to get that twisted up. As this pitch misses to the outside, count at 2-0. Oklahoma just winning the Men's College World Series, so I'd say for Coleman, that's a pretty good landing spot. Pitch delivered here to Hefner is in for a strike. Count at 3-1 after 3 pitches that missed the zone for Dixon. He's hoping to quickly turn it around as Hefner fouls this one off. Count moves full. Hefner has played with the Pilots before, one of the veterans of the squad who's been around Anchorage a time or two. Remember calling him back in 2024 when I was here in the ABL. Payoff pitch. This one fouled off by Hefner. Count remains full. We didn't see Hefner in the first week of the season, but here now for the Pilots and trying to see if he can make a difference against Peninsula that the Pilots were missing earlier. This is again going to be fouled off on the left side. Hefner from the Masters University, member of the Mustangs. He's got Antonio Gianni on deck, and this payoff pitch is going to miss to the outside for ball number 4. Base on balls for Hefner. Runner aboard for the Pilots for the first time in this game. We saw Shane Cannon get on with a walk, and now we see Hefner on with a base on balls as well. Antonio Gianni, the right fielder, comes to the plate, and we've seen already that Dixon's trying to work fast in this game, trying to, in a way, catch the Pilots off guard, and maybe once he gets into a stretch, trying to keep it that way. Here is a line shot that gets down into right field. Antonio Gianni will get the first hit of the game for either side as he delivers a single into right field. Got it right into the 4-3 hole between Lusky and Sammy Lopez. 2 aboard for the Glacier Pilots. Hefner over to second with Gianni at first. Drew Johnson, another player making his debut against the Oilers tonight. He is the first baseman for Anchorage. Count here is at 1, or no count with 1 out. Dixon places this pitch in low. Count goes to 1-0. Drew Johnson out of the University of Washington. Going to watch as this 1-0 pitch comes by, and the count goes to the outside. Beg your pardon, he's actually not playing for the University of Washington. There's a few different Drew Johnsons out there, so sometimes you see a name pop up and you just instantly associate him with that particular place. As this pitch misses, count goes to 2-1. But again, working as the first baseman tonight, he's out of Utah Tech, a sophomore. Again, came in a little bit later than some of the other Glacier Pilots. Count's going to be at 2-1 here. And this pitch by Dixon, again, misses low. Count at 3-1. Now, this is not an ideal position to be in because if Cole Dixon's not careful, he could very well load the bases for the Glacier Pilots. And especially this early in the game, that is not what the Oilers want to see. 3-1 coming up. Dixon delivers, and this pitch just catches the outside corner for a strike. Count runs full at 3-2. Johnson, the cleanup man in the order. He's got Braden Horn and Jake Dahl behind him. Payoff pitch on the way from Cole Dixon. Delivers the 3-2. Here's a ground ball delivered to the shortstop. Handled by Cannon. Throw to second in time. Throw to first is not in time. So Johnson will reach first on a fielder's choice. They are able to get Gianni at second. Runners at the corners for the Glacier Pilots with 2 outs. So not the worst case scenario for the Oilers. That ball was pretty sharply hit on the left side. Good work by Cannon just to collect it and then get the out at second. But it was just hit too sharply for them to be able to get a double play. So Horn is now at the plate, the catcher for the Glacier Pilots, the number 5 man in the order. And Braden Horn swings and misses at this fastball, and the count goes to 0-1. Braden Horn out of Kansas City, Kansas CC. Community College, just to be specific, if you don't know what CC stands for. 0-1, as this pitch misses just high, count at 1-1. Horn tied with Gianni and Blaze Sizz for the most RBIs on the team. 317 average with 13 hits on the year. That's the second most for the Glacier Pilots. And he's a pretty darn good catcher as he fouls this one back on the right side, count at 1-2. So the Pilots may end up in a very similar situation to the Oilers here, where they get 2 men on base but aren't able to do anything with it. And that's been, unfortunately for both squads, a little bit of a problem this year. Who can capitalize better on those opportunities tonight? That's going to be a big thing to watch. 1-2 coming up to Braden Horn. Delivered by Dixon. Here is a drive into left field. It gets down for a base hit. This will score Hefner, and that'll lead to a 1-0 lead for the Pilots. RBI single for Braden Horn as he delivered it well into left field. 1-0 Anchorage. A loop shot that got down in front of Wyatt Bundy, and it looks like Dave Dawson's going to make his way out of the dugout early tonight. Going to talk things over with Dixon and try to make sure that he's in the right frame of mind, I would presume here. Not a lot of action in the Oilers bullpen, so this is just a, hey, let's get things calmed down. And again, in this situation, you understand that you don't want things to balloon any more than they already have. Home plate umpire making his way over as well, just to make sure that this isn't extended any more than it needs to be. Trying to keep everything on a schedule. Runners at first and second now for the Pilots, as Hefner was able to come in. Johnson is now at second with Horn at first after his RBI single a moment ago. Jake Dahl comes to the plate and watches Dixon fire in a pitch wide, count at 1-0. Dahl, the freshman from Chico, California, plays for Feather River College. 341 average with 4 RBIs and a 400 on-base percentage. Leads the Glacier Pilots in batting average and total hits. The number 5 batting average in all of the Alaska Baseball League. He's been one of those guys that's been can't miss all season. As Dixon misses this one to the outside, count at 2-0. Sun really beaming down now here in Anchorage. And again, that's where hopefully the camera won't go out for all of you watching on YouTube. Count at 2-0 coming up to Dahl. Pitch delivered by Dixon is zipped in low for ball number 3. Count moves to 3-0. Pilots already with 2 hits off of Cole Dixon in this bottom half of the first inning, and now a 3-0 count with 2 men already on base. This is not what the Oilers wanted to see early, and that's starting pitching struggling. Ball 4. Jake Dahl will make his way over to first with a walk, and the bases are juiced for the Glacier Pilots. Nick Cortinas, the DH, will come to the plate, but this is ballooning into a really concerning situation for the Oilers. Already down 1-0. They don't want to see this expanded anymore. Cortinas, the DH, watches Dixon zip in a fastball. Count goes to 0-1. Dixon already nearing 30 pitches in this first inning of work, which is far from what he wanted to see. Fires another 0-1. This fastball misses high, and the count goes to 1-1. You got to try to keep that pitch count down if you can. And of course, the Oilers would like to see Dixon at least go 4 innings here, I would imagine. 1-1, and this pitch is high and tight for ball 2. Almost made contact with Cortinas. You've got Johnson at third, Horn at second, Jake Dahl currently at first. And here's a ball popped up into shallow right center field. Lopez wants it. He makes the catch for out number 3. So that'll do it for the bottom half of the first inning. Pilots put a run on the scoreboard, but they do leave 3 men stranded on base. Braden Horn with an early RBI single. It's a 1-0 game here at Mulcahy Stadium. Back in just a moment right here for the Oilers bats and the top of the second on ESPN. All right, welcome back here on ESPN. Dylan Simmons with you. Apologies for the lack of commercials there. I think we're still connected as far as the radio broadcast goes. I know we're still connected on YouTube, so should be good to go here for the top half of the second inning. And taking a look at the Three Bears Alaska scoreboard, it is 1-0. Glacier Pilots, after one inning, they get 2 hits in the bottom of the first with the 1 run scored. 1 error for the Pilots, though, none for the Oilers so far, but also no runs and no hits. Pilots left 3 men on base in the first. The Oilers left 2. It will be Sammy Lopez leading off here in the top half of the second, followed by Wyatt Bundy and Jack Holubowski, 6, 7, and 8 due up in the order for the Peninsula Oilers. Oilers trying to get their first win on the road this season after dropping the game last night to the Bucks, and they feel as though they've got every capability to do that here. Cody White is still on the bump after a little bit of a tough time against some of the Oilers batters in the first. Still overall did a good job, and we'll see what he can do against Lopez, the lefty batter. White is a righty pitcher, and he'll watch this pitch be fouled off on the left side. Count goes to 0-1. We've talked to Sammy a few times on the broadcast, and what I'll say is that he's a guy who gets better and better with each passing game. His improvement's been really awesome to see so far, and I'm curious to see where he goes from here as he pops this one up foul on the left side once again to bring the count to 0-2. Sun coming out from behind the clouds momentarily here in Anchorage. It's kind of in small stretches so far as sunlight goes. As a player, I think you'd rather not have it just for visibility's sake. 0-2 coming up to Lopez, and that was an off-speed pitch that missed just to the outside for ball 1. Lopez considered going around, but decided against it. Looked like a good call as best we could tell. So he's got a 1-2 coming up with no outs. Pitch to Lopez, ground ball through the right side for a base hit right into the 4-3 hole between Hefner and Johnson. Lopez gets a lead-off single, and the Oilers are in business with the tying run aboard here in the top of the second. That is Lopez's 6th hit of the season, and it's a great way to start off today against the Glacier Pilots. It'll be Wyatt Bundy coming to the plate, youngest player on the team, hasn't even started college yet, but the left fielder has still made a pretty big splash so far as he pops this one foul on the left side. Soon to play for Yavapai College, where he's going to have a lot of teammates with the Oilers become teammates of his at Yavapai. Nate Ramirez, Justin Parks, just to name a few, among many others on this team, as this pitch isn't going to be a pitch at all. It's a pickoff attempt that is unable to get Lopez out at first. Pilots trying to see if they can catch the Oilers napping. Peninsula, of course, with a full day's rest. Well, not a full day's rest, but rest nonetheless after yesterday's loss as the count goes to 0-2. What I mean by full day's rest is that they came in yesterday to Anchorage and really didn't have a lot of time to get acclimatized with the environment. Kind of just had to drive in and play baseball, as this is fouled back again by Bundy. Today, though, they've had a chance to stay around the house and get a little more rested up than they would be otherwise, and that might help them in today's contest. Counted 0-2. Sometimes it's better to, like Caden Thorpe mentioned in Coach's Corner, not be stuck in a van or bus all day. Bundy chops this one foul over to the right side. Count stays at 0-2. 2 straight lefty batters to lead off this top of the second for the Oilers, and seems as though Cody White may be having some struggles against these batters so far. It's certainly a bit of a different challenge. However, Oilers still got to try to complete it here with Lopez at first and Bundy threatening. Counted 0-2 coming up to Wyatt Bundy. Here's another throwback to first. They're not going to be able to do anything with Lopez. Oilers 6-4 on the season. And again, no longer are they in the lead in the Alaska Baseball League, but in a way that could be good. Less pressure to deal with theoretically. And that is a called strike 3 as it catches the outside corner for White. That is the second time he has struck out a batter looking in this game. Did it to Isaac Fernandez earlier, and he gets Wyatt Bundy here for a second K. One away here in the top of the second. So in comes the man from Bradley University, Jack Holubowski from Chesterfield, Missouri. And Holubowski will watch a pitch be delivered for a strike. Count goes to 0-1. Was not in the starting lineup last night, but came in off the bench as a pinch hitter. And is hoping that as a starter tonight, he can have a big impact on this Pilot squad. 0-1 is a hit-by pitch. It caught Holubowski, looked like on the left side of his back, and that'll put 2 runners on base for the Oilers. It's Holubowski to first, Lopez to second. Pilots were on the inverse of that last night against the Chugiak Eagle River Chinooks. They received 7 hit-by pitches, but still unable to beat the Chinooks in that game. Allowed Chugiak to move to 8-4. Currently holds the ABL lead. Garrison Jones is at the plate. Center fielder tonight in the 9-hole. One of the best bunters in the league. Just one out here. We'll see if he wants to try that. Not showing it. And instead, he's going to deliver a line shot into right field for a base hit. The Oilers will keep Lopez at third, and that will load the bases for Peninsula. It's Jones with a single, and the Oilers are in business once again. That'll take us to the top of the order, but it's got to be music to the ears of Dave Dawson, the head coach of Peninsula, to see the bottom of the order producing as they are here in this top of the second. 2 hits already in the inning, and that'll bring Shane Cannon to the plate, who's already reached once on a 4-pitch walk. Now both teams with 2 hits. Still just one away. Bases juiced for the Oilers like it was for the Pilots. Tying run at third base, and this pitch is going to move to the outside and get away from the catcher, Braden Horn. That will allow Lopez to score, and we are knotted up here at Mulcahy. A 1-1 game, and a wild pitch brings in Sammy Lopez. Holubowski will move to third. Garrison Jones to second. First base is now empty, and that isn't exactly how you draw it up, but hey, you'll take what you can get in this situation. Now the Oilers with a really good shot possibly to take the lead if Shane Cannon can deliver. 1-0, and he's going to shoot a high fly ball towards right field. Right fielder makes the catch. Coming home is Holubowski. He'll score, and it is a 2-1 Oilers advantage. Cannon with the sacrifice fly will be awarded with the RBI, and the Oilers take their first lead in the top of the second. Brooks Hassenclever will come to the plate, and that is a really good turn of events for Peninsula. Yes, it's a sac fly, and yes, it's an out, but you're able to bring in a run, and most importantly, you take the lead. Advancing to third was Garrison Jones. He's at the hot corner, trying to see if he can become the third run of this top of the second. As this pitch is a breaking ball by White, delivered for a strike. Count goes to 0-1. Good work by Antonio Gianni to backtrack and locate that baseball. Looked at first as though he might have overplayed it, but still got to it. 0-1 coming up to Hassenclever. Breaking ball, strike 2. Really good pitch by Cody White, who's trying to up the ante against Brooks Hassenclever right here, who flew out to left his first time up in an opposite field shot. Here's the 0-2 to number 28, league leader in home runs with 2 on the season. The 0-2 pitch. Hassenclever, ground ball sharply hit to short, picked up by Sizz, who throws to first, and that will be a 6-3 that puts an end to the top of the second. But all in all, not a bad frame for the Oilers. They put 2 runs on the scoreboard, including a wild pitch to bring in Sammy Lopez and a sacrifice fly from Shane Cannon. Oilers on top 2-1. We'll be back for the bottom of the second with the Pilots bats in just a moment on ESPN live from Anchorage. Hey, Race, you got me? You got me, Race? Race, you got me? Hey, Rach, you got me? All right, back here on ESPN, trying to figure out if we're connected back at the station. Believe we are. Our phone seemed to randomly disconnect from the audio board for some reason, not sure why, but we're back at it here at Mulcahy Stadium, and here's a ball delivered foul to the right side. Count goes to 0-1 as Ryan Dotson is at the plate. The count is at 0-1. It is 8-9-1 due up in the order for the Glacier Pilots. Dotson, Blaze Sizz, and Vaughn Coleman. Here's a fly ball to right field that will be caught by Brooks Hassenclaver for out number one. One away here in the bottom half of the second inning. On the Three Bears Alaska scoreboard, it is Oilers 2, Glacier Pilots 1. Peninsula able to put a couple of runs up in the top half of the second inning, now with 2 hits and no errors, while the Pilots have 1 error, 2 hits, and 1 run scored. Here's a pitch delivered by Dixon for a looking strike. Count at 0-1. It is Blaze Sizz, the shortstop, who is in the 9-hole tonight. And he's going to fly a ball towards center field. Garrison Jones is there, and he makes the catch for out number 2. 2 straight flyouts for the Glacier Pilots and 2 very welcome outs for the Oilers. And they'll hope to keep that tempo going. The recent University of Oklahoma commit, Vaughn Coleman, freshman out of Cal State Northridge in Claremont, California, 195 average this past year with 6 runs. ABL leader in stolen bases with 6. He's very crafty along the base paths as this pitch goes inside for ball number 1. Coleman had a season-high 6 RBIs versus Fresno State on March 17th and delivers a ground ball here. Diving forward as Cannon tries to get a throw off, but has it bobbled off his glove, and that will allow Coleman to take first base. I believe they will call that a hit. They will. It will be a single for Coleman, his first of the game, and a runner aboard for the Glacier Pilots. Zach Hefner will come to the plate, who's already reached on a walk tonight. And now the tying run aboard for the Pilots. Runner goes here. Coleman, the league leader in stolen bases, is going to add number 7. Now to second base for the Pilots as he took off with no hesitation there. Fernandez kind of bobbled the ball trying to get a throw off, and that made it easy for number 32. Coleman now in scoring position, the last guy you want to be on the base path in this situation. This is fouled back by Hefner, and that'll even the count, or actually take the count to 0-2. Zach Hefner out of Cedar Hill, Texas, had 1 hit versus Arizona Christian on March 6th and 1 run versus Embry-Riddle on March 13th. He was homeschooled during his prep days. Watches an 0-2 pitch come in here. Here's again Coleman trying to take third, and he got there in time. Another stolen base. The tag from the third baseman, Holubowski, didn't get to him as he was sliding toward that hot corner, and he was able to steal third base. 2 stolen bases in this top or bottom of the second. So now 8 total stolen bases for Coleman on the season. Hefner still at the plate, counts 1-2. And this pitch high from Cole Dixon evens the count at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Again, Coleman not one to sit back whenever there's a chance to steal a base. Trying to manufacture a run for the Pilots here. 2-2 from Dixon, swing and a miss. And that will end the second inning. So despite Coleman's base-stealing heroics, Zach Hefner still strikes out, and the Oilers able to keep the Pilots at bay and maintain a 2-1 advantage. Just 1 hit for the Pilots in the second inning. Oilers still on top. We'll be back for the top of the third in just a moment right here on ESPN. You got me? Let's see. I can't. Still coming in low. Huh. Don't know what's going on with this thing. Says we're connected, but they're coming in very low right now. I don't even know if I can really hear you at the moment. Let's see. Yeah, it says we're connected. Wow, I don't know what's going on. Welcome back. This is Oilers Baseball on ESPN. We're trying to get some issues sorted out here. We're not getting station reception as well as we'd like here in Anchorage right now, so trying to figure out what that's all about. We haven't run into this problem before, so hopefully it's just a quick thing that won't take a lot of time. But in the meantime, we're going to keep calling this baseball game as this is a check swing that is going to be ruled as Luke Lusky not going all the way around, and the count will be at 1-0. It'll be Luke Lusky, Isaac Fernandez, and Owen Musil. 3-4-5 due up in the order here in the top of the third as Lusky fouls this one back. Count evens at 1-1. Our setup is linked via a phone that connects back to the station, and we've got it connected to our Bluetooth board. However, it doesn't seem to be translating as well as we'd like. So that's the issue we're trying to sort out right now as far as the radio station goes. Count at 2-1, but we still got the YouTube stream up. And again, we'll try to see if we can fix this for you in short order as this pitch misses to the outside for ball number 3. Should have everything connected, and hopefully we'll be able to figure out what the issue is in just a moment as Lusky swings and misses at this breaking ball from Cody White. Runs the count full at 3-2. Lusky 0 for 1 so far today, but did reach on an E5 his last time up. And delivers a shot this time that's going to be a no-doubt base hit. Right over the head of the shortstop Blaze Sizz, and Luke Lusky able to get a leadoff single here in the top of the third. Runner aboard for the Oilers, and that is a good start here. It'll bring Isaac Fernandez to the plate, who struck out looking his last time up. Just a well-positioned ball by Luke Lusky toward the left side of the field. Fernandez looking for his first hit. Fouls this one up past the press box. Brings the count to 0-1. Fernandez, again, working as the catcher today, has had some shining moments this year. Maybe not the most consistent when it comes to production, but this is a guy who plays with everything he has every time he's out there. And he pops this one up into foul ground. Catcher Horn camps underneath it, makes the catch for out number 1. A P2 to take care of Fernandez, and that will bring Owen Musil to the plate. Musil entered the day with 9 hits, 10 RBIs, 3 walks forced on the season. His first time up, he grounded out to third base. Sun really shining down now here in Anchorage as we've got a 1-out situation coming up for Musil. Pitch is delivered. Musil fouls this one to the left side. No count with 1 out. Count will move to 0-1 after that foul ball. Musil from Kansas City, Kansas Community College, but a guy who certainly, I'm sure, has the eyes of a lot of great programs right now with what his talents have demonstrated. Here's a ground ball to third, picked up by Dotson, throws to first, and gets it there for a 5-3. The second straight 5-3 on Musil for out number 2. Does advance Lusky over to second, so the South Dakota State Jackrabbit is at second base. Sammy Lopez will come to the plate, who reached on a single his last time up and then scored a run off a wild pitch That came back in the second inning, and now we'll see what he can do here in the third. Runner at second is Lusky. Oilers trying to increase the 3-1 lead. And this is fouled off on the left side by Sammy Lopez to bring the count to 0-1. Oilers in game 2 of this 9-game road stretch in the Anchorage area, for lack of a better term. They'll be going to the Mat-Su Valley tomorrow to take on the Mat-Su Miners in a 2-game series, Thursday and Friday, at Herman Brothers Field. And then this weekend, Saturday and Sunday, they'll take on the Chugiak Eagle River Chinooks for the first time this year before ending out this road stretch against the Pilots and Bucks here at Mulcahy early next week. 1-1 pitch coming up to Lopez from White. Here's a ground ball to second, picked up by Hefner, throws to first, got it there in time for a 4-3. So, 2 straight ground outs will put a quick end to the top half of the third inning. Oilers get 1 hit from Luke Lusky, but that's it. Your score remains 2-1, Oilers above the Pilots. Back in just a moment here on ESPN. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back. This is Oilers Baseball on ESPN and here on YouTube. Dylan Simmons with you, and through 2.5 innings so far on the Three Bears Alaska scoreboard, Oilers on top of the Glacier Pilots by a score of 2-1. Apologize for the quality for those listening on radio. We're trying to get the situation sorted out. I believe there could be some sort of connection issue that I haven't accounted for, but still trying to get that issue sorted out as best I can. So we'll try to do that as time goes on. But as for right now, Cole Dixon is on the mound, and the Peninsula Oilers trying to maintain their 2-1 advantage. Pitch delivered here by Dixon. That's a check swing, and they're going to say that he did not go all the way around, so the count will be at 2-0 coming up here to the man in the order and the man at the plate, Antonio Gianni. 3, 4, and 5 due up for the Glacier Pilots. Dixon watches this one get popped up on the right side. Lusky trying to make a play on it. No way he's going to be able to get to it, unfortunately. And the count will be at 2-1. Antonio Gianni, the right fielder, reached on a single earlier, but then was taken out after a fielder's choice by Drew Johnson. So trying to score his first run of the game. Both teams listed with 3 hits on the Three Bears Alaska scoreboard. 1 error for the Bucks, none for the Oilers so far. Here's a high fly ball deep to left field, but fouled. And that will move the count to 2-2. That had the entire look of a home run. It just didn't have the direction. But Gianni gave that one a ride, and it looked like it was headed for parts unknown. But instead, the count stays even at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Still with no outs for the Oilers here in the bottom of the third. Keeping Cole Dixon out there, hoping he can get at least a couple more solid innings. And a fastball misses just to the outside for ball number 3. Count will stay full. Gianni, Drew Johnson, and Braden Horn due up in this inning. All 3 of them reached base their first time up to the plate. Payoff pitch with no outs coming up. Dixon takes his time. 3-2-2 Gianni outside for ball number 4. a base on balls that will put Gianni at first base. He is a very hard guy to get rid of at the plate, and he is not going to take any opportunity lying down, as he just showed us right there. Drew Johnson will come to the plate. Reached on a fielder's choice earlier. Here's a throwback to first. They're not going to be able to do anything with Gianni. And again, Johnson here trying to see if he can help his Glacier Pilots to tie this game up. Gianni lurking over at the base path. Pretty good lead off to first as this pitch misses wide for ball one. Pilots are 3-9 on the season. 10-20 a year ago, trying to avoid coming in last in the regular season in the ABL, which would keep them away from a playoff spot. 1-0. Dixon to the outside for ball two. Lost 4 of 5 in Kenai when these two teams met in the first week of the season, and you know that that's been weighing heavy on the minds of these Pilots ever since. 2-0 pitch coming up from Cole Dixon. Runner goes. Fernandez mishandles the ball, and that will allow Gianni to get to second base. It'll be a stolen base for Gianni and a runner in scoring position for the Pilots. Good awareness by the right fielder to get to second base in time, and good work on the takeoff as well. You just got to time those stolen base opportunities so carefully, and Gianni showing that he's very much capable of that. Here's the 2-1, ground ball up the middle that's going to get past the shortstop Cannon for a base hit. Digging for home plate is Gianni. He will score, and we're all knotted up at 2 runs apiece. It is Drew Johnson who will be awarded with the RBI single, and we're all knotted up here in Anchorage at 2 runs. Braden Horn will come to the plate. It's the second RBI single of the game by a Glacier Pilot, and the other man who got one is coming to the plate, Braden Horn. The catcher for the Pilots was able to score Zach Kiefner earlier, and now he'll look to maybe score Drew Johnson here. Still no outs, runner at first, and the runner's taking off. Fernandez this time throws to second cleanly, but the ball's bobbled by the shortstop, and that will allow, or by Lopez rather, the second baseman, and that will allow Horn to take second cleanly, or Johnson to take second cleanly on the stolen base. Apologies, folks. So runner in scoring position for the Glacier Pilots. Horn is at second, or Johnson at second, with Horn at the plate. Another runner in scoring position here for the Glacier Pilots. Here's a ball hit to the right side and fouled. And that will be another foul ball that'll move the count to 1-1. Braden Horn had 57 hits this past year with 9 doubles for Kansas Community College. 63 RBIs and 15 homers. This is going to get away from the catcher Fernandez on a wild pitch, and a runner at third base now for the Pilots as Johnson is at the hot corner. That pitch came in well wide from Dixon, and the Pilots have a chance to retake the lead right here. Already 1 run in this inning and a runner at third with no outs. Anything into the outfield will score Johnson. This pitch misses low. Count goes to 2-2 on Braden Horn. Not an easy guy to get out in these situations. And again, he's already got an RBI single today. Cole Dixon at 53 total pitches, tries to work fast. Here's a drive into left field that sits down right in the left field corner. This will be an easy run scored for Drew Johnson, and it's going to be an RBI single for Braden Horn, his second of the game. And the Pilots have retaken the lead here in the bottom half of the third inning. 2 RBIs for Horn so far, and a 3-2 Pilots advantage. Jake Dahl will come to the plate. All of a sudden, the Pilots are making Cole Dixon's life that much tougher at the plate right now. Dahl reached on a walk earlier. Left fielder for the Pilots here. Counted 0-1. Apologies as well for the folks watching on YouTube. Field's apparently a little dark right now. Not sure if we can change that on our stream. due to a couple different factors. We've got a cloth that's trying to keep the camera from overheating because of the sun glaring directly into the press box right now. Counted 0-2 here for Dahl. Fires a breaking ball that got right past a swinging Dahl for a strikeout. Cole Dixon will be awarded with the K, and it is his second so far of this game. Struck out Zach Hefner to end the second inning and gets a strikeout on Dahl here in the third inning. Nick Cortinas is at the plate. Popped the ball up to second his last time up. This pitch is upstairs from Dixon. Count goes to 1-0. Cortinas played in a few games against the Oilers, but didn't start in every game. 1-0 pitch delivered here by Dixon. Breaking ball is high for ball number 2. Pilots credited with now 5 total hits to the Oilers' 3. And still just the 1 error from the Pilots so far in this game. 2-0 pitch from Dixon. This ball fouled off to the right side. Count goes to 2-1. If the sun would stay behind the clouds, we could get that cloth off the camera and it wouldn't be as much of an issue. But that's what's keeping it there right now. And again, we'll try to get the radio broadcast situation resolved as best we can. Here's a fly ball delivered into right field. Actually popped up, not even to right field. Lopez makes the catch. I thought that thing was going to carry a little more than it did. And it's going to be the second time Cortinas has popped one up to Sammy Lopez, and this time it's out number 2. Ryan Dotson comes to the plate, who flew a ball out to right his first time up. Third baseman in the order has already had an eventful day. Was part of an E5 that was able to put Luke Lusky on base. As this is a breaking ball from Dixon to the outside, count at 1-0. Pilots already with the 3-2 advantage, trying to see if they can increase it. 1-0 coming up from Dixon, and that is a swing and a miss. Count at 1-1. Dixon, of course, very prevalent fastball user. He and his brother Luke both like it. Of course, Luke got the start last night and went 4 innings for the Oilers. 1-1, ground ball hit sharply to short, picked up by Cannon, throws to second, and Lopez will get the out at second base for out number 3. So that will end the bottom half of the third inning. The Pilots put another couple runs on the scoreboard and take a 3-2 lead over your Oilers, as it is Drew Johnson and Braden Horn both adding RBI singles. We'll be back for the top of the fourth to see if the Oilers can respond in just 1 minute on ESPN and YouTube. Welcome back. This is Oilers Baseball on ESPN and on YouTube. And again, we're trying to get the situation figured out with the board right now. We've got the phone up at least, so if nothing else, you can hear audio through there. We've got everything connected from the phone to the board, but doesn't seem to be translating the way it should be. Usually it just directly connects to the board and you can hear the audio through it, but we're not getting that right now. So again, still not sure what the issue is, but we will try to get it resolved as best we can as we go through the broadcast tonight. And again, stick with us and bear with us as we try to get that all situated. as we'll start the top of the fourth inning with a base hit for the Oilers. It is a drive towards right field that was hit beautifully to lead off this top of the fourth by Wyatt Bundy. He's able to get a single to get things rolling, and the Oilers have a man over at first base. And we can't get the camera tilted any further, by the way, on the YouTube stream, so apologies for that. It's because of the position of the camera here at the ballpark. There's no way to tilt it really at the moment, although we'll see if we can get that fixed in some sort of fashion for you as time goes on. Jack Holubowski is at the plate as this pitch misses wide, count at 1-0. Got a lot of things working against us tonight, but we'll try to power through as best we can. And the biggest thing we're trying to do is avoid the camera going out because, as here's a pickoff attempted back to first to Bundy, unsuccessful, because of the sunlight. That's the biggest thing we're trying to fight right now, and I'd say if it wasn't for the cloth, it would be non-existent. So we're trying to make sure you still have a view on YouTube. 1-0 pitch coming up, and here's a drive right past Dave Dawson, working as the third base coach for the offense and the head coach overall, and probably saw his baseball career flash before his eyes for a second with the acceleration that that ball had. Holubowski already has reached on a hit by pitch. Bundy, the rising freshman, is at first base. 1-1 coming up to Holubowski. And he will pop one up. It will be the third baseman who camps underneath it, and the catch is made by Ryan Dotson for out number 1. Bundy quickly has to go back to first base. One away, and that will bring Garrison Jones to the plate. I think Garrison is one of the more underrated and crafty hitters that the Oilers have. Doesn't start every game, but he is pretty sneaky good at getting on base. He just finds ways to make it happen, and we'll see if he's able to do it again right here. No count with one out. Breaking ball to the outside. Brings the count to 1-0 for Cody White, who's still on the bump at 51 pitches in the game with 2 strikeouts so far. Again, trying to go at least half the game maybe against the Oilers. Has done a solid enough job so far. Here's another throwback attempted to first. Pickoff unsuccessful on Bundy, who currently represents the tying run for the Oilers. Again, count at 1-0. Jones looking for a second hit. He might have it. Here's a high drive to right field, and the catch is made in the shadow of the scoreboard by Antonio Gianni for out number 2. That was pretty good contact from Garrison Jones, but he just didn't lift it far enough. Another fly out to right, and 2 away in this top half of the fourth inning. Shane Cannon comes to the plate. Has reached once on a walk and has also delivered a sacrifice fly that brought in a run in the top of the second. But he's going to need more than a sac fly to see if he can get Wyatt Bundy any further along, as Bundy, again, they are attacking him with those pickoffs over at first, but they have not been able to get him to stall out yet. Still able to get back to the bag, but Cody White keeping a very close eye on him. And they're going to again try. Again, the persistence is the key here if you're the Pilots, and that's what they're trying to do. Just force him into a mistake and get him to overthink the situation. That's kind of the idea as time is called. Shane Cannon looking still for his first hit of the game, but he's already been productive both times he's been up. Here's a pitch delivered, and it's low. Bundy, you can tell he's pretty eager to try to take second base. I think he knows if he can get on second with how reliable Cannon's usually been, he's got a pretty good shot of coming home and tying this game. And that would completely change the complexion going into the bottom of the fourth. Here's a 1-0, and this pitch is in for a strike. Count stays even at 1-1. It's all about how you time a stolen base attempt that really predicates how it goes. And you got to be very precise with it. So that's what you'll want to keep an eye on if you're watching on YouTube. 1-1 pitch on the way, and they showed bunt for a moment with Cannon, and he decided to pull back. Pitch got in for a strike, and the count goes to 1-2. So doubt they're going to try that again. I'm not sure if Canning would have followed through with it, but it certainly is an interesting thought to see here. 1-2 coming up with 2 outs. They're going to try Bundy again with the pickoff, and they got him this time. Persistence pays off for Cody White. He had been trying to get Bundy out with the pickoff move, and he finally did, and that will put an end to this top half of the 4th inning. Oilers remain down 3-2, still 1 single from Bundy. However, they are unable to tie this game back up. We'll be back for the bottom of the 4th in just a moment here on ESPN and on YouTube.
Hey, there you are.
Yes, I'm back now.
Okay.
Sorry about
Get
all
back
that. Yeah, the board was then not wanting to turn back on, but we finally got it back, so we should be good.
Okay.
All right, appreciate it.
believe that we are facing facts.
Community Health Services.
Okay, back in 10 seconds, or 5 seconds.
All right, welcome back here on ESPN. Dylan Simmons with you here in Anchorage, Alaska. Again, apologies for our brief stoppage, both on ESPN and on YouTube. We had some audio issues we had to sort out on the radio side. Finally have done that. And as soon as we got it done, our camera for YouTube has gone out because, again, like I said, the sun is out big time here in Anchorage. And unfortunately, because of where we're at in relation to the sun in this press box, it doesn't do well for the camera, and it can overheat in situations like this. So that's currently why we have no video on the YouTube broadcast. Again, apologies for that. We'll try to get the camera up as soon as we can, but the GoPro has to cool down while it tries to, get reacclimated before the sun overheats it again. So that's kind of what we're trying to do right now. But again, we'll follow along with you with the audio broadcast both on the radio and on YouTube. Right now, it's a swing and a miss on a foul ball for Zach Kiefner right here. Count goes to 1-2. Vaughn Coleman is at first base after legging out a single. There's one out here in this bottom half of the fourth inning. Score is still 3-2. Pilots on top of the Oilers on the Three Bears Alaska scoreboard. Hopefully won't have any more interruptions for you. Runner takes off. Here's the throw to second. It's too high. Coleman steals second base. That is his third stolen base of the game so far. One of the best in those situations, and he just did it again. Check it. That's his first stolen base. It's Gianni who had the two stolen bases earlier. Kiefner, by the way, is out after a strikeout for Cole Dixon just a few moments ago. So he's now got 3 Ks in the game. Gianni at the plate with 2 away in the bottom of the fourth. Dixon with a runner in scoring position. Dixon delivers. This pitch is toward the outside corner but misses for ball number 1. Count will be at 1-0. We'll see if we can get the camera back up for you after the break here in just a moment. Count at 1-0 coming up to Gianni, who's already reached on a walk today and also reached on a single. This pitch is going to come in low for ball number 2. Count will be at 2-0 for the right fielder, who's already been very productive in this game. Currently his Pilots on top of the Oilers, but just by a fleeting 1 run, and things can change quickly in the game of baseball, as we've seen time and time again this season. 2-0 pitch, and this comes in high for ball number 3. So the count goes to 3-0. Dixon is in danger of walking another batter. That's unfortunately been something he's done fairly often today, with already 3 batters walked in this contest, on the verge of making it 4 if he's not careful. 3-0 coming up to Gianni. Here's a ground ball instead, hit sharply to third, picked up by Holubowski, throws to first, got it there easily for the 5-3. And that will end the fourth inning. Good work by Jack Holubowski, able to get the 5-3 on Gianni and put an end to the bottom of the fourth. Your score remains Pilots 3, Oilers 2. Back for the top of the fifth in just a moment on ESPN and on YouTube.
Audio is perfect now.
Perfect. Sounds good.
Matt,
Appreciate
we have
it.
a great selection of bikes for sale, so we're really excited about having a good stock on hand. We also rent bikes, so we have mountain bikes, fat tire bikes, and limited selection of pedal assist electric bikes to rent. We stock comfort and mountain bikes and kids bikes. We have adult trikes and unicycles. We do repairs and accessories.
Find upstairs the bike loft at Beeman's Variety on the Kenai Spur Highway in Soldotna.
Gentle Dental in Soldotna proudly welcomes Dr. Perkins to the practice. He brings a remarkable background from studying in France to earning a degree in microbiology and a DMD, graduating near the top nationality. With over 5,000 hours in implant dentistry and decades in anesthesiology, he delivers advanced, comfortable care. Dr. Perkins has been recognized among America's top dentists and enjoys serving Alaska communities. Gentle Dental continues providing trusted modern care. Call 907-262-8834 for your next appointment.
welcome back. This is Oilers Baseball on ESPN. Dylan Simmons with you. Currently trying to get our camera sorted out for our YouTube broadcast. It's trying to get away from me as I try to angle it up here. It's somewhat of a difficult process, but we're doing the best we can, trying to give you a better view of the field, if at all possible, and also trying to shield the camera from the horrible sun right now. And normally I welcome the sun, but when it comes to doing this broadcast, it's a little bit tougher. 3 Bears Alaska scoreboard reads Pilots 3, Oilers 2, but we're in the top of the 5th, and things can and will change in a hurry. Cody White still on the mound. Shane Cannon to lead off as this pitch misses to the outside. Count goes to 1-0. Cannon has reached on a walk and also delivered a sacrifice fly earlier as this pitch comes to the outside for ball 2. Didn't get a chance to finish his at-bat earlier today, or earlier in the 4th inning, because they were able to get Wyatt Bundy on that pickoff. So that's why we've now got Cannon at the plate again as this pitch comes into the outside once more. That should bring the count to a 3-0, I believe, on Cannon, and it does. So a chance for Cannon to force another 4-pitch walk. He's already done it once in this one. And he's going to do exactly that. 2 4-pitch walks in this game against Cody White, and the Oilers have the tying run aboard. That is a good start here in this top half of the 5th inning, but again, it's all about capitalizing on these opportunities, which the Oilers have done in some ways, but not as much in others. Cannon, of course, from UC San Diego and Coronado, California. When it comes to talent, he's all about it. He can juggle, he can do a backflip. Got the last out in the 2018 Little League Championship that he played in. His dad was the coach. He says that's one of his favorite memories as a baseball player, and you can't blame him. That's one that, well, as the kids would say, it's a core memory, and it sticks with you for a long time. So don't blame him at all for feeling that. He'll also remember this game if he's able to possibly to be the tying run in this top of the 5th. Brooks Hassenclaver at the plate as this pitch comes into the outside from Cody White. Count at 1-0. Both teams with just one pitcher so far. We'll see if the Oilers opt for a pitching change in the bottom of the 5th. And this will be a 2-0. Pilots may have to consider that as well. White is now at just about 60 pitches. Still has some wiggle room, but if he can't find the zone effectively, they may not want to risk it here. Hassenclaver 0 for 2 so far in this one. But that might change, and it will. It's a base hit to right field. He's got a single, and the Oilers have 2 men aboard. It's just as easy as that for Brooks Hassenclaver to quickly flip the switch and get a hit. And he's shown that all year long, as it looks like Rich Price, the head ball coach for the Pilots, is going to make his way out of the dugout to possibly consider, and he will have a pitching change. So Cody White's day will come to an end after 4 total innings of work and a couple of men allowed on base here in the top of the 5th. Pretty solid, all things considered, and I think exactly what the Pilots were hoping for from him. However, you just don't want to risk it too much here. So a new pitcher will be on the mound soon for Anchorage. Oilers threatening to tie the game or maybe take the lead in this top of the 5th. We'll find out who the new pitcher is for the Pilots and if the Oilers can get that lead in just a moment on ESPN and on YouTube. We'll be right back.
Don't settle for partial care. At Central Peninsula Hospital, you get access to 3 specialty clinics: the Bone and Joint Center, Kenai Spine and Pain, and Foot and Ankle Specialists. From sprains to spine surgery, our team offers imaging, therapy, and surgery without leaving the Kenai. No travel, no outsourcing, just complete care, close to home. Visit cpgh.org/orthopedics or call 907-714-4404.
Thinking about a new place to land here on the Kenai Peninsula? At Ashman Krause Real Estate, we believe real estate should feel clear, calm, and personal from the very first conversation. Whether you're buying your first home, moving across town, or preparing to sell, we guide you through every step with local knowledge and genuine care.
Ashman Krause Real Estate at Jack White Real Estate,
guiding you home with care.
New man on the mound for the Anchorage Glacier Pilots is Gunnar Mountcastle, a man who the Oilers have already seen before this season. a lefty pitcher out of Feather River College, and he is a local man. He hails from Eagle River, Alaska, just about 20 minutes up the road from here, home of the Chugiak Eagle River Chinooks. Had 13 appearances last year with an 11.45 ERA for Feather River College. And he's a guy who, again, has already seen the Oilers once this season and is hoping to possibly do some damage and keep them from taking this game back. He's also just committed to West Texas A&M for next season. So he's another guy, much like Vaughn Coleman, who's going to be moving colleges soon enough. This will be his 5th appearance of the year. Appeared against the Chinooks back on June 8th, had 2 innings in that game, one against the Oilers on June 11th. He also pitched against the Bucks on June 15th for 1 1/3, and against the Matsu Miners for 2 innings pitched back on June 19th, and making his first appearance since then here tonight. The sophomore will have to deal with 2 runners on base. Luke Lusky is the man at the plate, and he's already reached twice. The tying run is in scoring position for the Oilers, and it's represented by Shane Cannon, who reached on a 4-pitch walk just a few moments ago. Still no outs, and the Oilers threatening to make this a 3-3 game. Mountcastle fires a pitch. The runners take off, and sliding back to third and getting there in time is Shane Cannon. Double steal for the Oilers because the infield was playing up, expecting Lusky, to deliver a bunt. That was a brilliant job by the Oilers to force the Pilots into a no-win situation. Lusky pulled back at the last moment, and because they were so focused on him, that allowed Cannon and Hassenclaver to both get into scoring position. Ball 1 is called. It's a 1-0 count. Now Lusky's got a chance to really do some damage. 1-0 pitch is delivered. Here's a fly ball towards left. It's going to be fouled and will land somewhere near the football field and right into the Oilers bullpen. Count at 1-1. But that was a brilliant call by the Oilers, and whether it was Dave Dawson, Larry McCann, Kadam Tharper, whoever drew that up, give them credit because that was a brilliant maneuver to put the Oilers in position here. Now we'll see if Lusky can pay it off. Could be a game-defining decision if all goes well here. 1-1 pitch delivered by White. This is fouled off to the right side. Count goes to 1-2. Lusky out of South Dakota State, and continues to be one of the best players that the Oilers have had at their disposal. And there's a reason he's in the starting lineup almost each and every night, because he can do special things and always emerges as a special piece. 1-2 pitch from Mountcastle is up high for ball number 2. Went upstairs, and the count evens at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Oilers have feasted on bullpens who haven't been quite up to par with starting pitchers in the past, and they did that to the Pilots multiple times. Can they do it again here? 2-2 pitch coming up. Mountcastle goes for a fastball. Here's a high fly ball toward the right field corner. Gianni drifting back, makes the catch. Tagging is Cannon. He will make his way to home plate, and we're knotted up at 3 runs apiece. It's Lusky with a sacrifice fly, the second for the Oilers today. Cannon had one earlier, and this time he gets scored on a sacrifice fly. 3-3, Hassenclaver now at third, and just 1 out here in the top of the 5th. Pretty effective for the Oilers, and we've got an entirely new baseball game all of a sudden. Isaac Fernandez at the plate. The leading run is currently at third base, represented by Brooks Hassenclaver. Infield playing up, expecting a potential bunt. This pitch to the outside for ball 1. Not sure I would see that from Fernandez at this point in time, just because in this situation, you got to understand that Hassenclaver's at third, so I don't know if you'd want to risk it, especially if it's on the left side or anywhere close to the plate. 1-0. Fernandez twitched for a moment but didn't swing. Breaking ball came in low from Mountcastle. Count goes to 2-0. Owen Musil is on deck. We know the damage that he can do. He's an RBI machine. We know he could at least get a sacrifice fly, if nothing else, but he'd also want to get on base himself, I'd imagine. 2-0 coming up to Fernandez. Delivers a fly ball out to center field. Coleman is back, makes the catch. Hassenclaver's going to try. He comes home. The throw is in time to get Hassenclaver. Wow. What a job on the relay by Vaughn Coleman. Got it to Braden Horn. Out 3 is called, and the Oilers, just when it looked like they were going to be able to take the lead, are slammed in the face by the Pilots. So that will end the top half of the 5th inning. Oilers do put a run on the scoreboard, and we're knotted up at 3 runs apiece. We'll be back for the bottom of the 5th in just a moment here on ESPN and YouTube. Don't go anywhere.
Dan's Automotive has the best customers in the world. What about Asia? We love Asia. We work on Toyotas, Hondas, Nissans, Hyundais, and Kias.
What about Amsterdam?
Do they even make cars?
Look, no matter what side of the car the steering wheel's on, we got you covered. Dan's Automotive, serving the best customers in Alaska. Call 907-420-0416.
This is Mark from Steam on Wheels. Wanted to talk to you about the Greer poly tanks that we are now stocking. We've got tank sizes from 1,000 gallon, 1,250, 1,500 gallons. What sets them apart from the competition is that they have up to a 10-foot bury depth. Sometimes you need a tank that can withstand more than 4 feet, and these are where these poly tanks really shine. We do have tanks in stock. As a customer, you can come by and pick them up, a contractor as well. Please give us a call at Steam on Wheels, 907-262-3240.
Back here in Anchorage, Alaska, this is Oilers baseball on ESPN. Peninsula taking on the Anchorage Glacier Pilots tonight. We were curious if Cole Dixon would be on the mound for this inning, and indeed he will. Oilers putting some faith in him, and I think it's well-deserved. He's been a very solid pitcher today so far, in spite of the 3 runs given up. However, he is approaching that part in the pitch count where you may consider maybe making a pitching change soon. He's at 90 pitches, so we'll see how much further he's got. Glacier Pilots hoping to capitalize here in this bottom half of the 5th. And the leadoff man in the order will be Drew Johnson for this inning. 4, 5, and 6 due up. Johnson, Braden Horn, and Jake Dahl. Johnson already has an RBI single in this game. Pitch delivered by Dixon here is in for a strike. Evens the count at 1-1. On the Three Bears Alaska scoreboard, the Oilers were able to tie the game up in the top of the 5th just a few moments ago. 5 total hits for the Oilers, 6 for the Pilots thus far in this game, as this pitch is to the outside for ball number 2. Pilots have 1 error to the Oilers 0. Pretty cleanly played game after some mistakes in the beginning. Another pitch coming up to Johnson. Misses wide, and the count goes to 3-1. And again, plenty of action in that Oilers bullpen. We'll see if they want to keep Dixon through this entire inning. I'm sure they'd love to, but you got to weigh your options here, and that's going to be strike 2. Johnson had already started taking off for first. He didn't think it was going to be high enough in the zone, but it was. Payoff pitch coming up. Can Dixon get at least 1 more strikeout here? Here's the payoff. Delivered, chopper to the right side. Picked up by the first baseman, Lusky, and covering first base is Dixon for the out. It's going to be a 3-1 putout on Drew Johnson that gets out number 1 here in the bottom of the 5th. Good so far for Cole Dixon here in this middle point in the game. That'll bring Braden Horn to the plate, and he's been the most dangerous hitter of the game so far. 2 RBI singles already for the Glacier Pilots, and he's trying to see if he can do that once more right here. How does Cole Dixon handle this situation? He's going to try a breaking ball to the inside for ball number 1. Braden Horn did a lot of damage against the Oilers in the first series as well. This pitch is going to miss wide for ball number... Actually going to say ball number 1. They said that first pitch was a strike, so the count's actually 1-1 here. Didn't see that the first time. 1-1 pitch by Dixon, swing and a miss. Count goes to 1-2. Horn fanned at that. He swung at everything and missed. Count at 1-2 for the catcher. Opportunity is knocking for Cole Dixon. Can he get a huge strikeout? It would be his 4th of the game. And could be absolutely huge to take off the most dangerous batter so far. 1-2. Breaking ball misses just to the outside as the count evens at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Horn now at 97 pitches here tonight. Approaching triple digits. 2-2. Swing and a miss. Cole Dixon, even in deep water, able to find some strikeout magic as he takes out Braden Horn swinging for his 4th K of the game. That'll bring Jake Dahl to the plate, and that is a massive strikeout in this bottom of the 5th to not only take out an effective batter, but also stall Pilot's momentum. Dahl has reached on a walk and struck out swinging so far. And he's going to swing and miss at this pitch toward the outside corner. Dahl, a lefty batter against the righty pitcher from Arkansas Tech, Cole Dixon. 0-1 coming up. Dixon delivers. Fastball is low for ball 1. 99 pitches now for Jake Dahl. Maybe forced to pull him pretty soon if that pitch count gets much higher. Trying to weave him through this bottom of the 5th. 1-1, swing and a miss. Count goes to 1-2. He's really targeting that outside corner on Dahl, and he's made it work so far. Give credit to Dixon. What he's done has been sensational. Now, can he get the strikeout here in what's been a miraculous inning so far for him? He's going to try, and he does exactly that. Strikeout swinging on Jake Dahl, 2 straight Ks to end the bottom half of the 5th inning, and that will presumably be the end of the night for Cole Dixon, but what a 5 innings he put together, and what a way to end it with 2 straight strikeouts on Braden Horn and Jake Dahl. We'll be back for the top of the 6th in just a moment on ESPN, all knotted up at 3 runs apiece at Mulcahy.
Fall is just around the corner. Are you ready for your next chapter? At Kenai Peninsula College, we're ready for you. Registration for the fall semester is now open, offering the classes you need close to home. And big news, our residence hall is now open. You can once again experience full campus life, build lifelong friendships, and live where you learn while taking classes at KPC or any UA campus. Don't wait. Secure your classes in your room today at kpc.alaska.edu. Find your place at KPC.
Looking for the toughest trailers and equipment on the Kenai? Head to White Spruce Trailer Sales on K Beach Road, your local dealer for TYM tractors. That's right, they have TYM tractors and implements. Anything from TYM pallet forks, box blades, snow removal, and more. Built to work as hard as you do. From sales to service, they've got the parts you need to keep your equipment running strong all year long. Speaking of service, White Spruce offers a full-service shop with special discounts for commercial companies because supporting local businesses matter.
Welcome back. This is Oilers Baseball on ESPN and on YouTube. Dylan Simmons with you live here in Anchorage, Alaska. We're in the top half of the 6th inning here in Mulcahy Stadium. We think we've got the camera situated a little bit better. Found a way to prop it up, so hopefully for you folks watching on YouTube, you've got a little bit of a better angle now. We'll try to keep that going moving forward. But right now, it's all knotted up at 3 runs apiece on the Three Bears Alaska scoreboard, thanks to a run scored in the top of the 6th by Peninsula and a fantastic bottom of the 5th by Cole Dixon on the mound with 2 straight strikeouts on the Glacier Pilots. It will be Owen Musil who will lead off this top of the 6th, followed by Sammy Lopez and Wyatt Bundy. 5, 6, 7 due up in the order for the Oilers. By the way, as always, throughout this game, the top of the order is brought to you by State Farm agent Christy Babcock. And make sure to start the next inning in your life with the top insurance team. Christy can help. We'll see what Musil can do here. He's grounded out twice to third base tonight. A little uncharacteristic for him. Swings and miss at this pitch by Mountcastle. Counted 0-1. It's been a back-and-forth game so far. Several lead changes already between these two teams. More drama than a reading of Hamlet so far. And we're far from over. 0-1 from the lefty. Musil fouls it off on the right side. Count goes to 0-2. Owen Musil, freshman infielder, 6'5", 230 pounds. He's tall, lean, fast, and strong. It's a really good combination for a young guy, and he's expected to only get better as he continues his collegiate career. He's taking off in a big way here in the ABL. 0-2, Musil swing and a miss. Announcer's jinx is what we'll chalk that one up to. A strikeout swinging for Mountcastle. It's going to be his first strikeout forced in the game. Sammy Lopez will come to the plate. There's a lot on Mountcastle's shoulders, considering historically how this series has gone between these two when it comes to bullpen pitchers. Usually, this is where one or the other is able to capitalize. As Lopez delivers a ground ball, Dotson gets on it, throws to first, and that's a 5-3 for Lopez for out number 2. Good work by Dotson to dive after that baseball and gobble it up. Got it over to Drew Johnson for the second out here in the top of the 6th, just like that. Wyatt Bundy, the left fielder, will come on. And unfortunately, it's been these situations sometimes that have really taxed the Oilers and kept them away from possibly winning these games, as they don't or haven't always capitalized in these spots as the count goes to 1-0. It hurt them last night against the Bucks, left a lot of guys on base. They're hoping that that is not a reoccurring theme here. Bundy does have a single already. Was taken out on a pickoff, though, in the 4th inning, as this pitch by Mountcastle is a strike on a breaking ball. Count goes to 1-1. Now Bundy looking for some measure of revenge right here. Bundy played his high school ball at Red Mountain High School, as that's strike 2 on a low breaking ball. Had a .357 average, 9 RBIs, and 1 home run in his senior year of high school before coming up here to Alaska. 1-2 pitch coming up to the lefty batter, playing left field. 1-2 on the way. Oh, almost a hit by pitch well inside. Thought for sure it was going to catch Bundy, but it didn't. Count evens at 2-2. Bundy hails from Mesa, Arizona, and trying to play as hot as the desert right now. 2-2 coming up from Mountcastle. Softly hit over to first, picked up by Drew Johnson, and he'll tag the bag for out number 3. Unassisted put out at first base. It's a 1-2-3 inning for Gunnar Mountcastle, and the Oilers come up empty in the top frame of the 6th. We'll be back for the bottom half of the 6th inning, and we'll see if the Oilers deploy a new pitcher. They almost certainly will have to. We'll find out who it is and if he can help keep the Pilots at bay. Back in just a moment on ESPN and on YouTube.
Looking for a solid job with great pay and room to grow? Dam Construction and Roofing is hiring roofers and general laborers across the Kenai Peninsula. They offer competitive pay based on experience, overtime opportunities, paid sick leave, and full-time seasonal work. No experience? No problem. If you're dependable, motivated, and ready to learn, they'll provide the opportunity. Join one of the Kenai Peninsula's fastest-growing roofing companies. Call 907-262-3996 today or visit dambuilt.com. Dam Construction and Roofing, building careers one roof at a time.
The World Cup's coming and everybody's talking defense. Here's a strategy that works long after the final whistle. If your family is complete, a no-needle, no-scalpel vasectomy is a safe, effective move. If you're done building your team, it may be time to strengthen your defense. Dr. Alvarez can perform your procedure in Soldotna or Homer. It's quick, comfortable, and a whole lot easier than chasing toddlers into extra time. Don't leave your future up to a lucky bounce. Call Peninsula Surgery and Aesthetics 907-235-1010 and schedule your no-needle, no-scalpel vasectomy. Score some peace of mind and enjoy the games.
Back here in Anchorage, Alaska for the bottom half of the 6th inning between your Oilers and the Anchorage Glacier Pilots. Road game number 2 of the season and game number 11 of this year's Oilers Alaska Baseball League schedule. And the new pitcher on the mound taking over for Cole Dixon is Justin Parks. Dixon ends up with 5 innings pitched on the night and 5 strikeouts, including 2 in the bottom of the 5th. Pretty impressive finish. And now Justin Parks will be making his 3rd appearance of the season. He's gone 4 innings the previous 2 times and has only given up 2 runs, neither of them earned for him on the bump. And Justin Parks, a guy who had a lot of experience this past year playing for Yavapai, but even though he had some great experience, his ERA was somewhat inflated due to a few different earned runs, or I should say runs being accounted to him that weren't entirely his fault. So I know the ERA may look high for his Yavapai stats, but don't let that deceive you. He's a very solid pitcher and knows how to get the job done in these situations, and especially under pressure. Nick Cortines will lead off, number 7 man in the order. Fastball delivered for a strike by Parks. Count goes to 0-1. Cortines has popped the ball up to second both times he's been at the plate, working as the DH tonight for Anchorage. Justin Parks will fire in the 0-1, working quickly and delivering a strike on a fastball. Counted 0-2 as it just clipped the top part of the zone. He's a big fan of fishing in Soldotna. And if you know anything about Justin Parks or have talked to him recently, you'll understand what I'm referencing there. Maybe we'll have him on at some point to talk about it. 0-2 is delivered. This pitch comes in high. Count moves to 1-2. Ryan Dotson and Blaze Sizz, 7, 8, 9, outside of Cortines, due up in the order here in this bottom half of the 6th inning. So between them, not a single hit tonight. Pretty simple start on paper for Parks, the southpaw pitcher. 1-2 is delivered, and he skips that one off the field turf. Evens the count at 2-2. That's one that just kind of slipped out of his hand. But he's not a guy that's going to let those sorts of situations or mistakes overtake him. Very confident, very composed on the bump. We've seen it both times he's been up there this season. 2-2 pitch. And this is a fair ball, or is it? No, it's fouled. Looks like Cortines may have fouled it off his own body. Keeps the count at 2-2. Oilers were playing it like it was fair, but the home plate umpire did make the late foul ball call. So the count stays at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Cortines frustrated by Cole Dixon. Both times he previously came up. Searching for a little solace right here. 2-2 on the way against the man from Yavapai. 2-2 pitch. Here's a drive into right field for a base hit, and Nick Cortines will get that first hit of the game in this bottom half of the 6th inning. It's a single into right, and the Pilots have a man aboard. Ryan Dotson will come to the plate. That's only the third time Cortines has been able to get a hit on the Oilers. 7 total hits for the Pilots so far tonight, as Cortines delivers the single into right field. And for Justin Parks, that's only the 4th total hit he's given up this season. So not a guy who gets caught in those situations all too often. Ryan Dotson showing bunt here. Infield comes up. This is fouled off. Pitch had a little too much acceleration on it. I don't think Dotson could have laid it down cleanly. So the count will be at 0-1. And this is where, if you play this right as an infield, you can get a pretty easy out. But if this bunt's misplayed, conversely, it can also be a really tough situation for the Pilots. So there's multiple things that could happen here. As the third baseman, Holubowski, comes up, pitches high again as Dotson tried to lay down the bunt. Count's going to go to 1-1. Holubowski anticipating it coming down the third base line, and I would say that that's a pretty safe assumption, all things considered. How do the Pilots play this 1-1 in this tie game? Holubowski again comes up, as does Lopez. And that is a bunt laid down, picked up immediately by the catcher Fernandez. Gets it to first for the out. The bunt does its job and advances Cortines over to second. It's going to be a 2-3 to get Dotson, the third baseman, out. 1 away in the bottom of the 6th as Blaze Sizz will come to the plate. Shortstop has flown a ball out twice in this game. Cortines is now in scoring position, and for the Pilots, that's the biggest thing right now, as they've got a guy in position to give them the lead right here as they try to manufacture a run with small ball. Sizz, I doubt, will try any sort of bunt here, but you never know. Parks fires in a fastball high. Count goes to 1-0. Pilots looking for what would be just their second win over the Oilers this season. Hoping that they can spark a bit of a rally throughout the remainder of this year with a win tonight. 1-0 pitch from Parks, and that is high and tight for ball 2. Sizz kind of faded back as the count moves to 2-0. Blaze is the freshman out of Cal State Northridge in Reno, Nevada, tied for most RBIs on the team with 6, 176 average and 4 runs on the season. 2-0 on the way. Pitch is high for ball 3. Count moves to 3-0. Sizz with a .263 on-base percentage. 5 older siblings. His brother TJ is in the A's organization. And there's a lot more to that family than just that. 3-0 pitch. Inside for ball 4. Wow, so 2 runners on base here for the Pilots as Sizz reaches with a 4-pitch walk. Vaughn Coleman will come to the plate, and there will be a meeting on the mound. It looks like it'll be just the Oilers players meeting with Parks here. No sign of Caden Tharp making his way out of the dugout, so the players just want to talk things over with Parks in this situation. Obviously, with runners on first and second, it's already a hairy situation as is, but also trying to make sure that their pitcher is where he needs to be, in the right frame of mind and ready to go for whatever the Pilots bring here. Vaughn Coleman has been a thorn in the side of the Oilers tonight. Already 2 hits, a couple of singles. He's also popped the ball up to the third baseman. This will be his first time playing against Justin Parks here in this game. 1 out, runners at first and second for the Glacier Pilots. Coleman here in the bottom of the 6th. Lefty pitcher versus righty batter, and Parks' fastball misses to the inside for ball 1. Trying to find a way to attack the strike zone, but just hasn't been able to effectively here. Parks is a big guy, 6'7", 260 pounds, out of Gilbert, Arizona. One of the tallest players on this Oilers roster, and this time he hits pay dirt with a strike. Count goes to 1-1. As a pitcher, you usually want to be a big guy. It's not a determining factor on whether or not you can be a pitcher, but it does help sometimes in these situations to get that extra zip on the baseball. 1-1, almost a hit by pitch, just barely missed catching Coleman. 2 balls, 1 strike for the center fielder. Sun has pretty much retreated behind the clouds now, so he should be good as far as the camera goes. I'm sure that's a good thing to hear for everyone watching on YouTube. 2-1. And that's high from Parks for ball 3. Just can't get the consistency he needs, and I do think this home plate umpire is calling this a little bit tighter than some of the others we've seen this season, and that may take some time for Parks to adjust to, as we've got a 3-1 coming up. Parks, this ball softly hit over to right field, and it gets down right in front of Brooks Hossenclaver. Here's the throw to second, and they're able to get the out at second base anyway. Because that ball was so lightly hit, Hossenclaver was able to field it. Looked like he kind of just stopped on the play, and I was confused for a second, but now I understand why he did it. He stopped, then fielded the ball quickly, got the throw over to second base to Sammy Lopez, and they get Blaze Sizz out for the second out. So Coleman is at first with a single. However, just runners at first and third here for the Pilots as Zach Kiefner heads to the plate. It will officially go down as a hit, the 8th one today for Anchorage. However, 2 outs now in the bottom of the 6th. Kiefner is struck out swinging twice and watches a strike go by here. Counted 0-1. It would be very crucial if the Oilers could hold the Pilots at bay and keep this at a 3-3 game going into the top of the 7th, and we know Parks is certainly capable. Lefty batter versus southpaw pitcher, and this fastball misses inside for ball number 1. Game number 6 of this season series between the Oilers and Glacier Pilots. Peninsula's won 4 of 5, trying to win on the road tonight. 1-1 pitch from Parks. Runner goes. Pitch is in for strike 2. They're not even going to try to throw it. They'll let Coleman take second with his second stolen base of the game, and that was probably the right call in that situation. You just don't want to risk it with 2 outs already and runners at second and third. So you take the strike and try to see if you can finish it. That's what Parks is going to look to do. 1-2. And that pitch way upstairs. Good work by Fernandez to grab that baseball out of the air and keep it away from the backstop. And most importantly, keep Blaze Sizz at third. Count is at 2-2. Or check it, keep Cortinas at third, I should say. 2 balls, 2 strikes, swing and a miss, and Justin Parks able to get the strikeout to end the bottom half of the 6th inning. Didn't look pretty at the start, but Justin Parks shined it up very well at the end. That'll bring us to the top half of the 7th, and the score remains tied up at 3 runs apiece. We'll be back for the top of the 7th from Anchorage in just a moment on ESPN and YouTube.
When you've been involved in a car accident, getting healthy is the most important thing. Having an advocate that can go out and get a full and fair recovery for you should not be something that you have to worry about. When people have been injured and suffered catastrophic injury or huge medical bills, other insurance companies can come and try to reduce your recovery. It's imperative to have someone that knows how to fight with these insurance adjusters look out for your interests. At Earhart, Elsner, and Cooley, we want to add value to your case to ensure a maximal, fair recovery.
Hello, I'm Marty Hansen, owner and manager of Eyewear Express. Let's talk about your money. Let's talk about getting up at 0 dark 30 to make a buck. Whether you're working in the hospital, one of our schools, or in the rain and snow, or you spend weeks away from your family, Eyewear Express knows the value of your money, and we promise the glasses we sell you mean as much to us as your money does to you. Eyewear Express will build you eyewear that are worth the money you use to pay for them. Expect the best from Eyewear Express, located in the Peninsula Center Mall, Soldotna.
Back here for the top of the 7th at the crossroads of the world, Anchorage, Alaska. And we've got a very interesting game going into this top of the 7th, all knotted up at 3 runs apiece between your Peninsula Oilers and the Anchorage Glacier Pilots. 8, 9, and 1 due up in the order for the Oilers here. Jack Holubowski, Garrison Jones, and Shane Cannon. And give credit to Justin Parks and the Oilers defense in the bottom of the 6th just a few moments ago for keeping the Pilots, who had runners at first and second and then first and third, from scoring a single run. That was very impressive. Shout out as well to Brooks Hossenclaver getting that out on Blaze Sizz on the base paths to get them in position to eventually keep this at a 3-3 game. The batting order tonight, as always, brought to you by State Farm agent Christy Babcock with auto insurance, homeowners, life insurance, and investing opportunities. Holubowski at the plate, still looking for his first hit of the game. He's reached on a hit-by pitch already. This pitch upstairs for ball 1. By the way, with State Farm agent Christy Babcock, there are locations in Kenai and Soldotna. Call today at 907-283-7116 in Kenai. 1-0 pitch coming up from Gunnar Mountcastle, delivered low for ball 2. 907-262-4440 is the number for Soldotna. Like a good neighbor, Christy and her team are there for you. 2-0 pitch coming up for Holubowski. 3-3 game here in Anchorage. Looking to reach for the second time today. Pops this one up foul on the right side. Brings the count to 2-1. Oilers are the number 1 team when it comes to batting average in the ABL at .266. Number 4 in total hits at 85, second in home runs, third in RBIs, number 1 in on-base percentage at over 400. Very solid team at generating offense, even if they haven't always been able to capitalize in certain situations. As this pitch finds the zone for a strike, count at 2-2. They've been able to get guys on base better than really anybody else in the league, and that's one great thing to hold your hat on. Finishing those opportunities, if they can do it consistently, going to make them a very hard team to defeat down the stretch, as they are already. 2-2, and this pitch to the outside for ball 3 from Mountcastle. And I think that the coaches would tell you that we're just now entering late June, so there's still a lot of baseball yet to be played and a lot that these guys are going to figure out about themselves and their team as time goes on. That's what's going to make this last few weeks stretch so intriguing to watch. Payoff pitch. This is high for ball 4. And Holubowski will reach on a walk. That is the second time today he's reached. And it will be both times on something other than a hit. So not the way Mountcastle and the Pilots wanted to kick things off, but the Oilers will certainly welcome it. The leading run for Peninsula is aboard as Garrison Jones will come to the plate. He's been up to the plate twice today. Got a single out of his first trip in the second inning and flew a ball out to right in the fourth, but both times he's made big contact. No outs in the top of the 7th. Mountcastle delivers. Jones lays down a bunt. He's very good at this, and it looks like he might be able to leg it out. Willie, he's safe. Jones is safe with the infield single, and the speed made the difference. He tried to catch the Pilots off guard, didn't really. However, Mountcastle, as well as the catcher Braden Horn, were unable to recover the ball in time, and Jones, trusting his abilities, is able to make it happen. Runners at first and second for the Oilers. And all of a sudden, we got the top of the order coming up with Shane Cannon. 2 hits for Jones today. What a performance he's having. Like I said, he's very good at those bunts. Maybe the best on this Oilers roster. And he just showed you why. Cannon at the plate. He shows bunt. This pitch is high for ball 1. Oilers trying to use small ball to their advantage. If there is one team in the Alaska Baseball League that struggles handling bunts, I would say it is Anchorage. They have struggled at multiple times this season against the Oilers to field them cleanly, and that could work to the Oilers' benefit right here. 1-0 coming up to Cannon, who's already delivered an RBI sac fly earlier. Tries a bunt, runners go, sliding to third, and safe at third barely is Holubowski. Double steal for the Oilers, and I got to say that was very close with Dotson trying to apply the tag. The throw from Braden Horn was great. However, Dotson just missed the sliding Holubowski. Runners at second and third for the Oilers, and that will bring on, or keep on, Shane Cannon, still with his at-bat here in the top of the 7th. Of course, no instant replay here in the Alaska Baseball League. That's one that I would be curious to watch back and see how they would call it, but I'm not going to complain one bit. I don't think Oilers fans are either. 1-1 coming up to Cannon. Runners at second and third. This pitch to the outside for ball 2. Holubowski at third and Jones at second. This is the best shot the Oilers have had, but they've come up short in situations like this in games past. Can they make it happen here to give themselves a lead that they won't surrender? 2-1 coming up from the southpaw Mountcastle. Delivers it to Cannon. Cannon, high fly ball, deep to left field, sends the left fielder back, and he's unable to make the catch. It lands at the base of the wall. Holubowski will score. Jones will stop at third. It's going to be a double for Shane Cannon. Jake Dahl went up high to try to make the catch. He could not bring it in. It went right over his glove and landed off the wall onto the warning track. And the Oilers have taken a 4-3 lead with Cannon's RBI double. A cannon shot from Shane. Brooks Hassenclaver will come to the plate. And all of a sudden, the Oilers have taken command here at Mulcahy. The clutch, timely hitting that they were looking for. And by the way, there are still no outs in this top half of the 7th inning. So the pressure is on the Pilots and the momentum is firmly with the Oilers. Hassenclaver reached on a single his last time up. He's also the league leader in walks forced. Hasn't forced one yet today. Does he have one maybe waiting in the chamber here? Or does he have something else planned? That's delivered for a strike, counted 0-1. He's top 5 in the league in batting average, number 1 in walks forced, and number 1 in home runs with 2. No one else in the ABL with multiple homers this year. However, both of those were back at Coral Seymour. 0-1, Hassenclaver, ground ball through the right side for a base hit. Jones will score. Coming around and stopping at third is Cannon. Hassenclaver's on with a single. It's the second hit of the game for Hassenclaver, and this time it brings in Jones on the RBI swing, and the Oilers take a 2-run lead in what's been a phenomenal top of the 7th. Still no outs and runners at the corners as Gunnar Mountcastle is facing some big trouble here. Said it at the top of the inning that this team, they're very good when it comes to getting guys on base. It's all about timely hitting and whether or not they can make it happen. Well, they've made it happen here, and they may not be done yet. Luke Lusky has already reached twice today. In fact, he's had an impact each and every time he's been at the plate. Mountcastle delivers and fires in a strike, counted 0-1. Luke Lusky delivered an RBI on a sacrifice fly in the 5th, a single in the 3rd, and reached on an E5 in the 1st. The runner at third is Shane Cannon. Runner at first, Brooks Hassenclaver. 0-1. This is fouled back right into the netting by Lusky. Counted 0-2. Oilers offense has come alive in a big way here in this top of the 7th. They now tie the Pilots with 8 hits in this game and already 2 runs scored. Looking for more. 0-2 coming up to Lusky, still no outs. And this pitch way outside, just corralled by Braden Horn. It's a good thing, too, because we know that Cannon would have been eager to score on a potential wild pitch, as Sammy Lopez did earlier. 1-2 coming up for Luke Lusky. Mountcastle trying to hang in strong. 1-2 pitch. It's a ground ball right to third. Quickly retreating to third is Cannon. Here's the throw to first, and it's in time for a 5-3 and out number 1. Boy, that was some great awareness by Shane Cannon, because that was hit directly to the third baseman, Ryan Dotson. Cannon quickly got back. Dotson was unable to get him out. Instead, just took the easy out at first on Lusky. Hassenclaver does advance to second, so 2 runners in scoring position for the Oilers now, with Isaac Fernandez at the plate. Still just 1 out in the top of the 7th. Even with all they've done so far, they don't want to leave 2 runners stranded. And that's a strike, counted 0-1. Fernandez 0 for 3 so far. Has struck out looking, popped a ball up to the catcher, and flew a ball out to center in the 1st, 3rd, and 5th innings. 4th at-bat of the day right here. 0-1 from Mountcastle. Fernandez check swing, and was it a foul ball? They will say it's a strike. Counted 0-2. Pitch was mishandled by Horn. That's what jarred the ball free. Counted 0-2 coming up for Isaac Fernandez. From La Habra, California. Looking to go California dreaming with a shot right here. 0-2 coming up. Infield playing a little closer up. Fernandez swinging a miss. Strike 3 called. So that is out number 2 here in the top of the 7th, and Mountcastle gets a much-needed second strikeout of his appearance so far. But here comes one of the most dangerous batters in the league, Owen Musil. Hasn't been as dangerous today. 0 for 3 so far, 2 groundouts to third, and a strikeout swinging. But we just know the league's RBI leader is waiting for a chance to strike, and he's got one right here. Mountcastle delivers. It is in for a strike. Counted 0-1 on a low breaking ball. You've got Cannon over at third. Hassenclaver at second still. Both trying to see if they can be brought in by Owen Musil. 0-1 pitch. Musil. Fly ball out to right field. Gianni camps underneath. Makes the catch for out 3. But still a successful inning for the Oilers. They do leave 2 men stranded on base, but a couple of runs come across. Holubowski and Jones score thanks to RBI swings from Shane Cannon and Brooks Hassenclaver. Oilers back on top 5-3. It's stretch time here at Mulcahy Stadium. We'll be back right after the break on ESPN and on YouTube.
Hi, this is Justin Ruffridge. There's nothing like a small town. It's real community. And that's one of the reasons I'm raising my family here. It's also why I own and operate Soldotna Professional Pharmacy, because I believe a small-town pharmacy is where people get the best care. Our customers aren't just customers, you're our friends and neighbors. Stop by at 299 North Binkley in Soldotna for hometown-friendly service. I'm Justin Ruffridge, and I'm here to serve you.
Welcome back here to Anchorage, Alaska. We've reached the bottom half of the 7th inning, and your Peninsula Oilers on top of the Anchorage Glacier Pilots by a score of 5-3 after a brilliant top half of the 7th inning. On the Three Bears Alaska scoreboard, again, 5-3 Oilers. 2 runs in the top of the 7th, both teams with 8 total hits. 1 error for the Glacier Pilots, none for the Oilers so far. Been a pretty cleanly played game overall by Peninsula, but really for both teams since the early portions of the game. Antonio Gianni will be up to the plate for the Glacier Pilots, but there is a new pitcher on the mound, so Justin Park's night will come to an end after one inning of work and a strikeout to end the bottom of the sixth. And the new pitcher on the mound is going to be Russ Martin, making another appearance this season. A guy we've already seen a couple times, once against the Pilots and once against the Bucks just last series. And we'll see if he can control any damage that the Pilots want to do here. Certainly going to have a lot on his plate with what Anchorage has shown as far as responding. His two appearances, again, against the Pilots and Bucks. And against the Pilots on June 12th, when an inning and a third, did give up 3 earned runs with 4 hits. Against the Bucks, 2 1/3 innings pitched with 4 hits and 2 earned runs given up. So, hasn't been as efficient as I'm sure he would hope for. However, we know that Russ, with his pedigree at University of Arkansas Little Rock, can certainly get the job done. And he'll need to do so against this solid part of the order. Gianni, Johnson, and Braden Horn coming up, 3, 4, 5. Pilots trying to get back in the game. Martin will watch this one get chopped to the left side. Count goes to 0-1. So Russ Martin, the third pitcher of the game for the Oilers, following in the footsteps of Cole Dixon and Justin Parks. Oilers don't mind going to the bullpen if it means they get to claim victory. And that's the idea right now. 0-1 from Martin, and it catches the outside corner for strike 2. A lot of times pitchers use what happened in the past as motivating energy for themselves going into a contest, and I'm sure that's been weighing on the mind of Russ. How do I show my true skill? 0-2. This is fouled directly into the netting on the right side. Counted 0-2 for Antonio Gianni, who has reached once on a walk and once on a single in the first and third. Has also grounded out to third base in the fourth. Oilers have been much more efficient pitching in the middle portion of this game. Pilots have not scored a run since the third inning. 3 straight scoreless innings for Anchorage. 0-2, fouled back just barely by Gianni. Made a little contact with that Russ Martin fastball. And that'll keep the count at 0-2. Oilers drop back-to-back games to the Bucks. Once at home, once on the road. Trying to break that losing streak. Get back in the win column tonight and keep pace with the Chinooks and Miners. It would also move them to 7-4 if they can get this one done. 0-2 from Martin. Shot to the left side. Picked up by Holubowski on the run. Throws to first, and he's not going to be able to get it there in time. The throw to Lusky took him off the bag. Boy, that was a close play over at first base, and I thought initially that they were able to get the out on Gianni. Umpire didn't rule it that way, and it's going to be a single for Antonio Gianni, his second of the game. 9 total hits now for the Glacier Pilots, and a runner aboard for Anchorage. It'll be Drew Johnson at the plate. And again, much like we saw earlier with that potential tag at third on Shane Cannon, inches can determine this ball game. Here's a fly ball out to left. Wyatt Bundy is there. This is Drew Johnson with the swing. It is caught by Bundy for out number 1. So that is a good way to respond by the Oilers defense. 1 away in the bottom of the 7th. Braden Horn will come to the plate. Struck out swinging in the 5th against Cole Dixon. But he's also got 2 RBI singles. So make no mistake, we know he still very much has the capability to turn this game upside down in a hurry. That's what Martin has to be watching for here. He's going to throw back to first, try to see if he can get Antonio Gianni napping. Not going to happen on the pickoff attempt. And he'll settle in here against Horn. Here it comes. Fastball in there for a strike. Counted 0-1. So glad you're joining us here on ESPN, on YouTube, wherever you're watching from tonight. We hope you're enjoying the broadcast. We thank you for sticking with us through all the early technical issues. Here's another pickoff attempted to first. Gianni not going to be taken out that easily. However, we saw earlier how the Oilers were tested like that with Wyatt Bundy, and eventually he did get picked off. So Never a bad thing to try. 0-1. Here's a line drive into left field for a base hit. Braden Horn does it again. His third hit of the game. And this time it's a single that'll put 2 runners aboard for the Pilots. Gianni moves to second. Horn is at first. And still just 1 out in the bottom of the 7th. Tying run at first base for Anchorage. Jake Dahl to the plate. He does not have a hit yet. 0 for 2 so far with a walk. Struck out swinging in the 3rd and 5th innings. Pretty surprising considering what he's able to do more often than not on the stat sheet. Delivers a bunt here. It's a slow roller to Martin. Throws to first. Got it there in time for out 2. So it was a well-designed bunt by the Pilots. The sac bunt will get Dahl out, but it advances the runners to second and third. Gianni to third, Braden Horn to second. And it'll be Nick Cortinas who will come to the plate. The designated hitter does have a single, which he delivered in his last appearance in the 6th inning. Martin trying to make sure he doesn't get any more here. Fires in a fastball for a strike. Count at 0-1. Cortinas also popped a couple of balls up to the second baseman Lopez in the 1st and 3rd. 0-1 pitch. Delivered low and outside for ball 1 from Martin. Count evens at 1-1 here at the crossroads of the world. Airplanes always flying overhead. Getting to see, peek down and see what's taking place here at Mulcahy. 1-1 is upstairs for ball 2. Oilers would love nothing more than to come in here and get a 5th win of the season against the Pilots and lift their spirits back up on this long road swing. 2-1 by Martin. This is popped up and lands off the top of the press box here. And I thought for a second I was going to get another souvenir here at Mulcahy Stadium. Like I said yesterday, it's happened to me once before, and it landed just above me. This time, count it 2-1, or 2-2 actually, after the foul ball. Cortinas against Russ Martin, 2 righty players. Breaking ball, just high for ball 3. Count runs full. Payoff pitch coming up. Martin tried to get Cortinas to chase. He did not. Cortinas staying patient at the plate. Now he'll try the payoff pitch. And it's low for ball 4. And Nick Cortinas will make his way over to first with a walk. Again, that's one that another umpire might have called a strikeout under different circumstances, but give credit, this home plate umpire has shown that he is not going to be swayed in his zone. He has stuck to it throughout the course of this contest, and it may throw some pitchers off, but that's the case that they got to deal with. Ryan Dotson now at the plate. Third baseman chops this one foul on the left side, counted 0-1. So the bases are loaded for the Glacier Pilots. Russ Martin, again, in his first 2 appearances of the season, has given up several runs both times. He's trying to avoid that here. Trying to make sure he's got a shutout inning against the Pilots to keep the Oilers in front by 2 runs. 0-1 pitch. And that one catches the outside corner on a fastball. Counted 0-2. That's the pitch that Russ Martin was looking for. Part of a Little Rock team that made it all the way to the Super Regionals before losing out to Troy. Now trying to show that postseason experience right here. 0-2, swing and a miss, and Martin fired up as he gets the inning-ending strikeout. That's got to feel so good for Russ Martin. Vindication after a couple of tough appearances to start the season. Oilers dugout is fired up after that one as well. It's still a 5-3 game. Peninsula on top. 3 runners stranded for the Pilots. Back for the top of the 8th with the Oilers bats in just a moment on ESPN.
Let's go fishing. Let's go see Alaska. Whatever your adventure is, Three Bears Alaska is here to help your adventure. They're a one-stop shop with easy to get in and out fuel pumps. Great for RVs, boats, campers, recreational trailers, work trailers, pretty much anything. And with locations in Cooper Landing, Sterling, Kenai, and Anilchik, you're on your way. Three Bears also has groceries for your adventure, fishing and camping gear, a liquor store, ice and fishing licenses as well. For your next adventure, stop by Three Bears Alaska.
Everyone knows the struggle. The DMV keeps bankers hours while they're stuck at work. That's where AK Express rolls in to save the day. They handle the services people need, and that's why they want you. Open until 6 p.m. Monday through Friday and Saturdays 11 to 3. AK Express makes busy schedules easier. Conveniently located at the corner of K Beach and West Poppy Lane. Next to Everybody Rides Again. AK Express, where convenience is king.
Welcome back to Anchorage, Alaska. We've reached the top half of the 8th inning between your Peninsula Oilers and the Anchorage Glacier Pilots. And on the Three Bears Alaska scoreboard, it reads Oilers 5, Glacier Pilots 3. Oilers have had an offense that has come alive later on in this contest. In the top of the 7th, they managed a couple of runs scored. They have 8 total hits. Pilots with 10 and 1 error, but just 3 runs to show for it. They have left a lot of men on base today, and that could end up being their Achilles heel if they're unable to come back. Gunnar Mountcastle's night comes to an end after 3 innings pitched and 2 strikeouts. There is a new pitcher on the mound here for the Pilots, and it's Mason Timmick, making his fifth appearance of the season. The longest he's gone is 3 innings against the Bucks. He has appeared once against the Oilers back on June 11th and had 2 innings in that contest with 3 earned runs given up. Now we'll see what he can do as he faces off with Sammy Lopez in this top of the 8th. Lopez, high chopper, left side, fouled. Count will be at 0-1 here. Lopez, Bundy, and Jack Holubowski, the 3 due up, barring any pinch hitters. Looks like it's going to be those 3, at least for the moment. Oilers trying to put the finishing touches on what could end up being a big win on the road, their first of the season. 0-1, Lopez, chopped to the left side, fouled. However, there is still a lot of baseball yet to be played, and we saw just a few games ago against the Bucks how quickly things can change late in the contest. Oilers led most of that game only to lose it late after a crushing top of the 9th by the Bucks. They don't want the same result here. 0-2 coming up to Lopez. Delivered, and this pitch high from Timmick. Count at 1-2. 1-2 pitch coming up for Lopez, who's already got a single tonight and scored earlier on a wild pitch. 1-2 coming up from Timmick to the outside, and the count evens at 2 balls and 2 strikes as it just missed the outside corner. This next inning brought to you by State Farm agent Christy Babcock. Start the next inning in your life with the top insurance team. 2-2 pitch on the way to Lopez. Here's a ground ball hit sharply to Hefner. Picks it up, throws to first, and that's a 4-3 to quickly dispatch of Lopez in the top of the 8th. 1 down for the Oilers. Wyatt Bundy will come to the plate. The rising freshman, not even in college yet, but he's been a phenom so far. Has a single in the 4th. Has also struck out looking and grounded out to first. 1 for 3 so far tonight. We know Bundy's got a lot of power, though. And he's looking to bound the baseball deep into the outfield. Pitch delivered by Timmick. Catches the outside corner on the lefty batter for a strike. Timmick, unlike Mountcastle, is not a southpaw, so he doesn't have that element working for him here. But he is still called upon pretty often. This breaking ball misses to the outside. Count evens at 1-1. Pilots down by 2 runs. The Oilers trying to stretch the lead and get yet another win against them. 1-1 coming up to Bundy. Again, well outside for Timmick. Bundy read it well. Count at 2-1. Glacier Pilots have lost 4 games in a row. They're trying to put that behind them tonight, but here at home, they've struggled with the Oilers late. 2-1, and it just misses outside again. Timmick really trying to catch the outside corner against Bundy and not able to do it. 3-1 coming up for Wyatt Bundy. Timmick delivers. Bundy swing and a miss. Count runs full at 3-2. Just a little bit late trying to chase after that baseball. Couldn't grab it. We've got a payoff pitch coming up with 1 out. Pressure time for Bundy. High chopper to the right side, delivered to Johnson, and he grabs it easily and then tags the bag for out number 2. Unassisted put out on Bundy at first base for Johnson, and that'll bring Jack Holubowski to the plate. Holubowski's seen a lot of action over on the left side of the field as a third baseman tonight. He's reached base twice with a hit by pitch and a walk so far. So he's had a pretty odd state of affairs so far in this contest. Timmick is delivered. Holubowski pops this one foul, and the count will be at 0-1. Fouled it off up over the press box here at Mulcahy Stadium. 0-1 pitch coming up. Oilers will be back here in roughly a week to take on the Pilots toward the end of their road stretch as well. It will be the 7th time these two teams have met, as this pitch is well to the outside for ball number 1. It's amazing to think that through 11 games, the only two teams the Oilers have met are the Bucks and Pilots. That'll change in a big way, though, starting tomorrow with the Matsu Miners and then the Chugiak Eagle River Chinooks coming up on Thursday through Sunday. This pitch by Timmick is just high for ball 2. Count moves to 2-1. Those will be some fascinating tests here in the middle part of this road stretch. And I think it'll really be a great statement of where the Oilers are at as a baseball team compared to some of the best in the ABL. 2-1, and the breaking ball by Timmick catches the outside corner for strike 2. And I think it's fair to say the Oilers could consider themselves among the ABL's best, but they got to go out there and prove it on the baseball field against those two teams who are currently top 2 in the standings. We'll get an update on the Miners-Bucks games later. 2-2 pitch. Chopper by Holubowski to the left side. Dotson picks it up on the run. Throws to first and gets the 5-3 on Holubowski for out 3. 1-2-3 inning for Mason Timmick. Not too shabby in the slightest. And that brings us to the bottom of the 8th. Oilers holding on to a two-run lead in Anchorage. We'll be back in just a moment on ESPN and on YouTube.
World Cup Soccer is here. Rematch, a celebration. Need catering for your next event? Just ask. Martha's Cocina next to Kenai Cinemas and Acapulco Mexican Restaurant in Soldada. Cuts, fractures, sprains, burns, fishhooks, and workplace accidents. Odyssey Urgent Care treats the injuries that can't wait. Need stitches? They perform laceration repairs right here. Got a fishhook where it doesn't belong? Well, they can help with that too. With on-site x-ray services, splinting, braces, and expert injury care, you can get diagnosed and treated in one convenient visit. Conveniently located in Kenai in the Odyssey Family Practice Building. Open Monday through Saturday, 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. Walk in or call 907-283-8400. Odyssey Urgent Care.
Welcome back here to Anchorage, Alaska. Dylan Simmons with you for the bottom half of the 8th inning. And on the Three Bears Alaska scoreboard, your Oilers on top of the Anchorage Glacier Pilots by a score of 5-3. 8 hits for the Oilers, 10 for the Pilots. 1 error for Anchorage, none for Peninsula. Pilots have not scored a run since the 3rd inning, in which they scored 2. They've been shut out ever since, and the Oilers bringing out reinforcements on the mound. Kian Prendez will come in for Russ Martin after he had a bit of a scare in the bottom of the 7th, but still got out of it very well. Prendez has been an ultra-reliable guy out of the bullpen so far this year for the Oilers, and he's going to be brought in here to try to keep the Pilots from adding to the scoreboard. As for the first time this season, we'll have the lights come out on an ABL game that the Oilers are in. Mulcahy Stadium does have lights, and they've just been turned on. And Blaze Sizz will deliver a drive into left field for a base hit. When the lights come on, Sizz apparently shows out, and he's got a single to lead off proceedings in the bottom of the 8th. Runner aboard for the Pilots. That'll bring the tying run to the plate in Vaughn Coleman. I'm just getting ready to say, though, Kian Prendez usually very solid in these situations. However, that is not the way that Prendez wanted to start this one out. We'll see if it's a good omen for the Pilots or if it's just a flash in the pan. So far this season for Peninsula, Prendez has made 2 appearances, and he went 5 and 7 innings respectively in those 2 appearances. Coleman, check swing. Pitches just to the outside for ball 1. 5 innings against the Pilots on June 13th with just 1 earned run given up, and then 7 innings against the Bucks on June 19th at home in the final game of that homestand. 3 hits, no earned runs, but Oilers still lost that game after a late bullpen collapse. There's a strike, and the count will go to 1-1 on Vaughn Coleman. Prendez gave up just 3 hits in that 7-inning stretch, but he's already given up 1 here to Sizz. Goes to show you how quickly things can change in the world of Alaska baseball. 1-1 pitch by Prendez is high for ball 2. By the way, taking a look at the other game taking place tonight in the ABL, bit of a shocker over in Palmer. The Bucks bullying the Mat-Su Miners by a score of 5-0. Of course, the Oilers will play Mat-Su at Herman Brothers Field tomorrow. If that score holds and the Oilers are able to win here, they'll retake second in the ABL standings, as that is a strike delivered by Prendez, and the count goes to 2-2. Again, the standings don't mean as much right now at this point in the season. However, you always want to keep pace with some of the better teams, and that would certainly help the Oilers if they could get all that to work in their favor. 2-2 pitch coming up to Coleman. This is going to be fouled off to the right side. And if all that shakes out the way it could, that would mean that that 2-game series between the Oilers and Miners could not only be for second, but maybe for first, depending on how Chugiak does in their next few contests. So a lot going to be on the line, not just tonight, but over the next few days for the Oilers. All the reason more to tune in on ESPN and on YouTube. 2-2 from Prendez. High pitch for ball 3. Right now, no matter what, the Oilers have got to try to find a way to finish this thing out against the Pilots here on the road, against a team that isn't going away so easily. Payoff pitch coming up to Coleman, who's already got 3 singles in this game. He's 3 for 4. Payoff. And this fouled off toward the right side. Lusky trying to camp under it, but no way he's going to be able to catch up to it. Count remains full at 3-2. Another payoff pitch coming up for Coleman, who's just so difficult to deal with in these situations. Has been such a dynamic player against the Oilers time and time again. Can Prendez find a way to get past him? Taking his time with the payoff pitch, delivers. Swing and a miss, and he does get the strikeout on Vaughn Coleman. That's one of the best strikeouts you'll see all season, not just because of where he put the baseball, but because of who he got it against. To get a strikeout on Vaughn Coleman, the soon-to-be Oklahoma Sooner, far from easy. Rich Price looks like going to bring in a pinch hitter here, I believe, for the Pilots. He has motioned Zach Hefner back to the dugout, and they will bring in a pinch hitter. First one of the game for either side. It is Logan Strong who will make his way out of the dugout for the Pilots. And again, Rich Price, head man for the Pilots for many years now, feels as though this is the best thing they can do to help themselves get in position to try to make this a tie game soon. Remember, they've only got 5 more outs to work with here. Prendez from the bump. Delivers. This ball fouled back. Count will be at 0-1. Logan Strong, in theory, would take over as the second baseman if he stays in on defense for the top of the 9th. Hefner had been struck out swinging 3 times in a row, so you can understand why Rich Price would want to make that move in that spot. 0-1 coming up from Prendez. Delivers, and the breaking ball is low for ball number 1. Logan Strong, another guy who we've seen a lot of this year against the Oilers. And he's had his pretty good moments against Peninsula in his own right. .238 average on the season with 2 RBIs, 1 run in 8 games played. This pitch, though, a little bit low again from Prendez. Count goes to 2-1. Had 2 hits against the Oilers back on June 11th with 1 RBI in just 3 at-bats. So like I said, he's had his good moments against Peninsula already this year. 2-1 pitch. Prendez watches this get fouled back by Strong. Count evens at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Of course, strategically, I don't think the Oilers want to run up Prendez's pitch count too much here either, because almost certainly they'll want to use him against either Matsu or Chugiak down the stretch here. So, going to be interesting to see if he can shut this down a little bit quicker throughout this bottom of the 8th. 2-2. This is fouled back again. Strong able to make just a little bit of contact. If nothing else, it runs Prendez's pitch count up. Pilots as a team now have 11 total hits in the game, but just 3 runs to show for it. Again, runs don't come easy, especially in this series. 2-2 coming up to Strong. Prendez delivers. And it just misses. Ball 3. Looked as though it would surely be strike 3, but it just missed to the outside. So a payoff pitch coming up for Logan Strong. This top of the order for the Pilots, proving they are no easy team to get down as they throw back to first, unsuccessful. On the man at first base, Blaze Sizz, who we've almost forgotten about, thanks to all the events that have taken place since in this bottom of the 8th. Pickoff almost got him. Payoff pitch with 1 out from Prendez. Delivers to Strong, and it's outside for ball 4. 2 runners aboard for the Glacier Pilots, and I think that's one that may not be too popular with the Oilers fans in attendance tonight. That looked like it caught the outside corner to me, but it was very close over there. So that'll put runners at first and second for the Pilots. Antonio Gianni will be at the plate. Right fielder, as the Pilots have Strong at first and Coleman at second. The tying run is at first for Anchorage. Prendez, not a guy who's always made his appearances out of the bullpen this late into a game. Usually comes in towards the middle part of a contest. Delivers to Gianni. High fly ball deep to center field. It sends Garrison Jones back, but he'll make the catch in front of the warning track and try to get it to third. He won't be able to, so that will take Blaze Sizz to third base. Logan Strong will stay at first. 2 outs here in the bottom half of the 8th inning. Drew Johnson now to the plate. He does have an RBI single in this contest. Reached on a fielder's choice in the first inning, grounded out in the 5th, and flew a ball out to left field in the 7th. So it's been every which way for Drew Johnson tonight. What would be run number 4 for the Pilots, currently at third base. Prendez trying to shut them out for what would be the 5th consecutive inning. Prendez, breaking ball, called for a strike. Counted 0-1. Prendez taking on a lefty batter here. Prendez, of course, a southpaw in his own right. And sometimes as a lefty, you're almost more comfortable in those situations. Prendez may demonstrate that here. 0-1 on the way. And called strike 2. Very interesting that on this side of the plate, it almost seems like the zone's a little bit more expanded compared to the right side. Maybe that's just the angle we're at. We are at a bit of an odd angle up here at the Mulcahy Stadium press box, but that's been interesting to note from this bottom of the 8th so far. 0-2 with 2 outs coming up to Johnson. Prendez delivers. Same style pitch, but again, just outside for ball 1. We saw how he was just outside a few times against Strong, and it's the situation here on this pitch against Johnson. Trying to bring this game to the top of the 9th is Keen Prendez. 1-2 on the way. Swing and a miss, and Prendez comes up clutch, as he often does against the Glacier Pilots. He gets the strikeout swinging on Johnson. He gets 2 total strikeouts in the inning, and the Oilers strand 2 runners on base for the Pilots again to maintain the 2-run lead. They'll look to add some insurance on the top of the 9th in just a moment, right here on ESPN and YouTube.
Everyone knows the struggle. The DMV keeps bankers hours while they're stuck at work. That's where AK Express rolls in to save the day. They handle the services people need, and that's why they want you. Open until 6 p.m. Monday through Friday and Saturdays 11 to 3. AK Express makes busy schedules easier. Conveniently located at the corner of K Beach and West Poppy Lane. Next to Everybody Rides Again. AK Express, where convenience is king.
Hazardous trees are such a problem here on the Kenai Peninsula, but they have to be handled, and the place to call is AK Tree Solutions. With many years of experience in residential hazardous tree removal, they offer guaranteed customer satisfaction, and they're very accommodating. AK Tree Solutions also offers tree pruning, and they're licensed and insured. Get those hazardous trees off your property today. Call AK Tree Solutions, 907-398-2903. That's 907-398-2903.
Welcome back here to Anchorage, Alaska. We've reached the top half of the ninth inning between your Peninsula Oilers and the Anchorage Glacier Pilots. Taking a look at the Three Bears Alaska scoreboard through 8 innings, 5 runs for the Oilers, 3 for the Glacier Pilots, 8 hits for Peninsula, 11 for the Pilots so far. Pilots with just 1 error, the Oilers with none so far. Pretty clean game for the most part, but there is still at least 1 more inning to go. It will be Garrison Jones who will lead off here in the top half of the ninth inning. Mason Timmick still on the bump. The Oilers were 1-2-3'd in the top of the 8th just a little bit ago. But Jones already has 2 singles tonight. 2 for 3 against the Glacier Pilots, and he wants more right here to maybe put the finishing touches on a victory here on the road. Tries a bunt, and he could not get a hold of it. Count goes to 0-1. Pitch just sailed over his bat. Oilers may try to manufacture some runs with small ball in the top of the 9th. We're going to find out here soon. 0-1 pitch to Jones. He delivers a fly ball into right center field, and it's caught by Vaughn Coleman for out number 1. Right fielder and center fielder almost came together. Antonio Gianni was also over there. He was trying to grab that baseball, and out of nowhere, Coleman came in to make the catch for the first out. Shane Cannon comes to the plate. That could have been disastrous for the Pilots. Good communication by Gianni and Coleman in the outfield. Cannon already has an RBI double. 2 total RBIs so far in this game. He's also reached twice on a walk. As this pitch is in for a strike, counted 0-1. So in total, and I got to make sure I call this right because there's all sorts of weirdness going on with this count. Should be 1 for 1, including the sac fly. Pretty odd count, all things considered, and it is a 1 for 1. As this pitch misses wide, count goes to 1-1 again. Don't see that very often this late into the game, but Cannon, special breed of cat, as this comes outside for ball number 2. Shane Cannon, the shortstop, has made some great plays both on the field of play defensively and with his bat so far here tonight. 2-1 coming up, and that's delivered low for ball 3. Back at the Matsu Valley, by the way, Bucks still on top of the Miners 5-0, so that'd be a pretty big upset if that holds. We'll see. Bucks may be hitting their stride. But right now, it's all about this one at Mulcahy. 3-1 pitch, and that's high. That's ball 4. For the 3rd time tonight, Shane Cannon forces a walk, and his 1 for 1 stat line will remain. Again, very, very odd, but Shane Cannon, he's been patient at the plate, to say the least, so far in this game. It brings on Brooks Hossenclaver, 2 for 4 with an RBI. Has an RBI single that he got in the top of the 7th and got a single as well in the 5th. Lefty batter against Mason Timmick. 1 out, Timmick. Pitch is just outside for ball 1. As you can see on the YouTube stream, if you're watching there, lights are out here at Mulcahy Stadium, or I should say lights are on at Mulcahy Stadium. First time we've seen them this year. Usually not necessary, but they are tonight with all the cloud cover. 1-0 pitch, Hossenclaver fouls this one to the left side. Of course, we had a game darker than this at Coral Seymour where there are no lights. And you got to play through it. And they probably could play through this without the lights, but they're nice to have in situations like this. 1-1 pitch coming up for Brooks Hossenclaver. Can he get his third hit of the night and maybe spur Cannon all the way home? 1-1 pitch from Timmick. Cannon's going. This is a chopper to the right side. Picked up and bobbled by the first baseman. Underhand toss to first is not in time. Drew Johnson, the first baseman, as he was trying to field the baseball, could not field it cleanly. And as the second baseman came over to try to get the out on Hossenclaver, he was not able to get the ball to him in time. And the Oilers now with 2 men aboard. Hossenclaver is going to reach on the second pilot's error of the night. It's an E3. So now runners at first and second for Peninsula. That could be a back-breaking mistake for Anchorage. And it could be nothing but daisies for the Oilers. Luke Lusky at the plate. Cannon at second. Hossenclaver at first. 1 out. Here's another chopper to the right side. Lusky running. Pitcher picks it up. Throws to first. And this time he is able to get the out. Johnson was ready for it. It's going to be a 1-3 on Lusky on what's, for all intents and purposes, a swinging bunt. Fernandez will make his way to the plate with 2 outs and 2 runners in scoring position. Now, Fernandez has not been able to break through tonight. 0 for 4 so far in this game. He has struck out swinging in the 7th. He struck out looking in the 1st, popped the ball up to the catcher in the 3rd, and flew a ball out to center in the 5th. So, still looking for that first hit, but he's due right here. 2 outs in the top of the 9th. Timmick delivers, pitches outside for ball 1. And right behind him is Owen Musil, who's also 0 for 4. Middle part of the lineup hasn't been nearly as effective as the top part and bottom part tonight. But we know both of these guys are very much capable in the right situations. That's what the Oilers are searching for right here. 1-0 pitch from Timmick. Low and outside for ball 2. Does Isaac Fernandez have something in the tank to put another couple runs on the scoreboard and maybe clinch a victory here on the road against the Glacier Pilots? That is what he's searching for right here. 2-0 on the way from Timmick. Fernandez chased after the breaking ball, and it was a swing and a miss. Count goes to 2-1. Again, 2 outs in this situation, so you can't rely on a sac fly here either. You've just got to try to get it in play and get a hit. And then potentially spur Cannon home for what would be another run scored. Fernandez, another swing and a miss on a Timmick breaking ball. Count evens at 2-2. It would be a big missed opportunity if the Oilers could not add a couple of runs here and possibly go ahead and put this game out of reach. But Fernandez isn't done yet. 2-2 coming up from Timmick. Delivers the breaking ball outside for ball 3. Good discipline by Fernandez this time. Didn't chase after the breaking ball. And the count will run full for the catcher. Isaac trying to find his way and the Oilers' way to the promised land. Payoff pitch coming up. 3-2 from Timmick. That's ball 4. Too high on the fastball from Timmick, and the bases are loaded for the Oilers. Well done by Isaac Fernandez to get on base. Second walk Timmick is issued in this inning. If he does that again, a run will automatically come in. So the base is juiced for the Oilers one more time. But Owen Musil, the ABL leader in RBIs, no hits tonight so far. 0 for 4, he's grounded out twice, flew a ball out to right, and struck out swinging. 2 outs in the top half of the 9th inning. Timmick delivers, and he leveled that one in perfectly for a strike on another slider, this time against Musil. Count at 0-1. Musil's come up clutch before. Had that game-sealing shot in the second game of the year against the Pilots, a 3-run double. 0-1 here is in there for a strike. Count at 0-2 on a breaking ball that just caught the inside part of the plate against Musil. 0-2 pitch coming up. Can Timmick get himself out of a jam right here? On the verge of it. Oilers don't want to waste this opportunity. 0-2, it's high for ball one. Oilers again down to one more strike in the top of the ninth. Pilots trying to keep it at a 2-run game and at least give themselves a reasonable chance in the bottom of the ninth to tie this thing up or maybe even walk it off. But long way from that right now. 1-2 pitch from Timmick. And called strike three. Musil tried to see if it was going to be low. It was not. And Mason Timmick does find his way out of the jam with an inning-ending strikeout in the top of the ninth. And the score will remain 5-3. Missed chance for the Oilers. Now it's up to the Oilers defense to see if they can clinch the win on the road. We'll be back in just a moment for the bottom of the ninth here on ESPN. Don't go anywhere.
Ready to spice up your day? Playa Azul Mexican Restaurant in Kenai is serving a bold, authentic Mexican food made with love and packed with flavor. New to town or just passing through, this is your must-stop spot for amazing variety, unbeatable prices, and all your favorites. Enjoy the free salsa bar and kick back with cold beer or a glass of wine. Located just past the last traffic light in Kenai, headed north, Playa Azul is where the fiesta never ends. Come hungry, leave happy. Playa Azul Mexican Restaurant.
The warehouse is open at Sweeney's Clothing in Soldotna. Come discover amazing deals with savings from 30 to 70% off on flannels, jeans, footwear, jackets, and a wide variety of summer essentials. Plus, they've got lots of new merchandise you didn't see last year. Whether you're heading to work, hitting the trails, or getting the family ready for summer, now's the time to stock up and save. Don't miss the warehouse deal at Sweeney's Clothing in Soldotna. Your workwear and outerwear headquarters for the whole family.
Welcome back. This is Oilers Baseball on ESPN and on YouTube, and we've reached the bottom half of the ninth inning. Your score on the Three Bears Alaska scoreboard, Oilers 5, Glacier Pilots 3. And a new pitcher on the mound one more time for the Oilers. Kevin O'Pannell will come in for what will hopefully be the final inning of work for the Oilers right here. Takes over for Kian Prendez, who went one inning with 2 strikeouts and managed to keep the Pilots scoreless once again. Anchorage has not scored a run since the bottom half of the third when they put 2 runs on the scoreboard. Oilers have scored 3 unanswered since and are now trying to pick up their first road win of the season. And Kevin O'Pannell, he has been money in these situations more often than not. He's been brought in to be the closer, you could say, in this spot for the Oilers, although he's not officially designated as the closer. This is where he usually makes his money, so to speak. And he's trying to do it one more time against the Pilots, this time on the road. He's made 3 appearances this year, all of them just 1 inning at the end of the game, and all 3 times he's gotten the job done, giving up just 2 combined hits with no runs given up either time. And the 6'3", 215 player from Clementon, New Jersey and Monmouth University is going to look to do exactly that. Now, he's got a pretty tough batter to deal with, maybe the toughest batter to deal with right now. It is Drew Horn. 3 hits already with 2 RBIs, including a couple of RBI singles. It is 5, 6, and 7 due up in the order. Braden Horn, Jake Dahl, and Nick Cortinas, who are due up. Kevin O'Pannell at the plate against Braden Horn, as this pitch is delivered low for ball number 1. Dave Dawson and Kadam Thorpe put a lot of trust in O'Pannell, and he's not let them down yet this season. 1-0 pitch. Here's a drive that's fouled off the Bucks and Pilots clubhouse. Count goes to 1-1. Of course, both Anchorage teams share Mulcahy Stadium, and they play here on alternating days. That's why the Bucks are on the road tonight, while the Pilots get to play at home, and the Oilers play 2 separate teams here 2 days in a row. 1-1 pitch from O'Pannell. Breaking ball just to the inside for ball number 2. Braden Horn, Jake Dahl, Nick Cortinas. The latter 2 only have 1 hit between them, but Braden Horn's been the guy. And that's what he's trying to be here, but he swings and misses at a fastball from O'Pannell. Count goes to 2-2. So much on the shoulders of O'Pannell, but he has been up to the task each and every time. One of the best short burst pitchers you'll find in the Alaska Baseball League. Sizes up Horn for the 2-2, and time called by Braden Horn. 2 balls and 2 strikes coming up. Sun peeking out once again. Will the light shine brightest on O'Pannell here? 2-2. And that fastball misses inside for ball 3. So the count runs full. Again, the home plate umpire zone has been very tight tonight. That's what O'Pannell's got to account for. Of course, he's been watching that all throughout this game. Payoff pitch coming up from O'Pannell. This is fouled off by Braden Horn, and the count stays full. Pilots trying to avoid dropping their 5th consecutive game. They have been struggling since that series against the Oilers. Came out of that 3-5 and are now 3-9. Payoff pitch from O'Pannell outside for ball 4. And Braden Horn gets a leadoff walk. He is such a tough batter to deal with. You can understand O'Pannell being a little more trepidatious about him. In a way, tried to pitch around him, and it may have backfired. So the 4th run of the game for the Pilots is at first base, and the tying run is at the plate. It's Jake Dahl. Dahl is 0 for 3 tonight with a sacrifice bunt. He has struck out swinging twice. He's actually 0 for 2, I should say, and delivers a high fly ball here to center. Jones is back, has to backpedal, but camps underneath it and makes the catch for out 1. 1 away, 2 outs away from an Oilers win. So here comes the DH, Nick Cortinas. Has popped the ball up to second twice. He's also reached on a single and a walk. 1 for 3 so far tonight. Again, this is the 5th pitcher for the Oilers in this contest. It's certainly a bullpen game, but they've shown that they've got a bullpen so far that can handle the task. Fastball from O'Pannell is delivered for a strike. It hasn't always been the case this year. There have been some games where the bullpen has cost them. But so far tonight, that hasn't been the case, and they've just got to make sure it stays that way. And that's largely up to O'Pannell. 0-1, here's a drive, foul toward the left side. It was angled to the left of the third base bag, and that does help as it brings the count to 0-2. O'Pannell looking for the strikeout right here on Nick Cortinas. Runner at first is Braden Horn, but he needs somebody to come along with him. 0-2 from O'Pannell. Ground ball to short. Right to Cannon. 1 out at second. Chance to turn a double play, and they'll take advantage of it. A 6-4-3 will end the game for the Oilers and hand them their first road win of the season. What a job by Peninsula. What a job by the Oilers bullpen, and what a win it is here at Mulcahy Stadium. After 2 straight disappointing results, the Oilers get a win and move to 7-4 on the season and put themselves right back in the race for the top spot in the Alaska Baseball League standings. A phenomenal job by this team. What a response, and what a job late as well to get those 5 runs on the scoreboard and stay out in front of the Pilots. It's a heartbreaker for Anchorage once again. Despite numerous opportunities, they're unable to cash in. However, sometimes a team is just a little bit better on a given day, and today that was the Peninsula Oilers. A great win tonight, and it'll be a nice celebration back at the Airbnb in South Anchorage as they get set for the rest of this road stretch. Nothing's going to come easy on the road, but the Oilers still showing that they're very much capable of playing some good baseball away from home. We're going to take a quick timeout. When we come back, we will have your post-game show, so make sure you check that out. It will be brought to you by Peninsula Community Health Services. Don't go anywhere. Back in just a bit here on ESPN.
Your health matters every day, not just when you're sick. At Peninsula Community Health Services, we're here to keep you well with personalized primary care and preventative services for the whole family. From checkups and screenings to managing ongoing conditions, our caring team is ready to help you stay ahead of your health. Don't wait. Take the first step toward feeling your best today. Call PCHS at 907-262-3119 or online at pchsak.org.
Peninsula Community Health Services. Healthcare for all.
When trying to find a dentist, it can be challenging, and Ridgeway Family Dentistry knows this. Ridgeway is a new state-of-the-art facility offering you pain-free dentistry and is family-friendly. Even if you don't have time to have multiple appointments, Ridgeway Family Dentistry can complete all your treatment in one easy visit. At Ridgeway Family Dentistry, they know how important it is to have a smile and know how that can change your life. For your next dental appointment, call Ridgeway Family Dentistry at 262-8404.
The World Cup's coming and everybody's talking defense. Here's a strategy that works long after the final whistle. If your family is complete, a no-needle, no-scalpel vasectomy is a safe, effective move. If you're done building your team, it may be time to strengthen your defense. Dr. Alvarez can perform your procedure in Soldotna or Homer. It's quick, comfortable, and a whole lot easier than chasing toddlers into extra time. Don't leave your future up to a lucky bounce. Call Peninsula Surgery and Aesthetics 907-235-1010 and schedule your no-needle, no-scalpel vasectomy. Score some peace of mind and enjoy the games.
And now it's time for the post-game show on ESPN 1140 and 96.9. Brought to you by Peninsula Community Health Services and State Farm agent Christy Babcock. With game recaps and on-field interviews, let's return to the field on ESPN.
Welcome to the Oilers postgame show presented by Peninsula Community Health Services. PCHS supports your health, offering medical, dental, eye care, and behavioral health services. Visit them online at pchsak.org, that's in all caps, or call and schedule an appointment today at 907-262-3119. Again, that's 907-262-3119. Oilers picking up the 5-3 win over the Anchorage Glacier Pilots, and it was a hard-fought victory. Oilers went down early to the Glacier Pilots, fell behind, and it looked as though that the Pilots were going to be able to have their way offensively for a little bit, but Cole Dixon was able to saddle up and saddle in, and the Oilers defense responded in kind. And then the Oilers bats got going and were able to deliver those 5 runs and never looked back after the Pilots were unable to score from the 3rd inning through the rest of the game. Give a lot of credit to this Oilers bullpen. What they did down the stretch, nothing short of exceptional, and that is really what helped them to sustain that lead and take the win. We've talked a lot about the bullpen struggles this season, but it was anything but here tonight, so credit to them, all the great pitchers in this contest. Of course, Cole Dixon, Justin Parks, Russ Martin, Kean Prendez, and Kevin O'Pannell all had their part to play. Oilers combined end up with 8 total strikeouts in the contest. Not a bad night's worth of work. Try saying that 5 times fast as the Oilers are able to get the victory. As far as bats go, the Oilers had several players who got the job done in a big way. Shane Cannon had a great night. 3 walks forced, 2 RBIs, including an RBI double in the 7th inning. Brooks Hassenclaver goes for a single and an RBI single tonight, and he reaches base a total of 3 times in this game. Luke Lusky ended up with a single and a sacrifice fly RBI in the 5th inning. Isaac Fernandez unable to get a hit, but did get a walk in the 9th inning to help spur on the Oilers' offense. And Sammy Lopez ended up with a single and scored on a wild pitch in the 2nd inning. So that got the Oilers starting as far as their scoring went in this contest. And shout out as well to Garrison Jones, 2 singles as well as 2 flyouts tonight. Not a bad night for him as well in the 9-hole for the Oilers in center field. Peninsula moves to 7-4 on the season, and if the Mat-Su Miners do fall to the Anchorage Bucks tonight, which they're currently in the bottom of the 9th down 6-0, looks as though they will, that should move the Oilers back up to 2nd place in the Alaska Baseball League standings, right behind the 8-4 Chugiak Eagle River Chinooks. Oilers, though, only half a game back of the top leading Chinooks. And speaking of the Mat-Su Miners, the Oilers will play them tomorrow night at Herman Brothers Field in Palmer. We will have the broadcast live for you here on ESPN and on YouTube. They'll also play them the subsequent night on Friday to decide who is really towards the top of the ABL standings. Should be a sensational two-game set between those two teams up in the Mat-Su Valley. So make sure you tune in. Again, first pitch will be at 6 with pregame coming up at 5:45 tomorrow. That will be the Sweeney's pregame show. As for tonight, from the crossroads of the world, Anchorage, Alaska, your final score, Peninsula Oilers 5, Anchorage Glacier Pilots 3. Thank you all so much for tuning in. This has been a presentation of ESPN and YouTube. So long, have an electric night, and we will see you tomorrow.
We now return to your regularly... You have been listening.
All right, talk to you later.
Appreciate it, man.